Too many buttons at once. Hi! Alright, hello! Am I too close? I can't tell. I feel like I'm the same depths away I've been, but I feel like my head's too far off camera. Oh, maybe I'm usually sitting back. Oh well. Hi! I'm easily distracted. Hello, hello, we are back. We're playing Virche again today. I dressed in black. Maybe we'll be done with it. This story has been dragging. We were talking about it yesterday for a good while. Like, I don't know what the concept that they put around the stories for this one, but like, some things didn't have to be this long. You could have made shorter stories, and I think we would have enjoyed them way better. So, we're on officially chapter 4. It's taken me like 9 hours to get here, which honestly for Virche, based on the previous game, it's par for the course at this point, but I would like to finish it. So I told myself I'd give myself 2 hours tonight at least. It's 6 o'clock almost. Giving myself until 8. If it's not done by 8, the good news is I can stay up a little bit longer. But the bad news is that enough time? Like, I don't know. Game be dragging. I don't know why they introduced a new character. I don't know why suddenly these earrings are important. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It was the day after I sulked like a child with Ankou. That's right. She's got a crush on Ankou and doesn't know how to say it. Only thing that's relevant. Ankou had gone off on his own. Meanwhile, I was with Adolphe at the marché browsing various bookstores for materials on the curse.
まだ機嫌が治ってないのか?
Guess the mood still hasn't improved, Leah. That's not true. I'm just a tiny bit down, that's all.
それを不機嫌と言うんだ.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. Adolphe spoke as if scolding a child, so I responded in kind with an equally childish face. I had already shared with Adolphe the details regarding both Ankou's relationship to the Lycoris and our conversation yesterday. It's because Ankou said that there are plenty of people who could replace him, even though he's my only partner who stopped my suicide attempt.
それを直接伝えりゃいいだろう。お前がそんな様子だから、あいつ。
Why don't you tell him that? It's because of your mood that he was acting like that this morning. Oh, we're gonna get a flashback. Don't give me a flashback. Don't do it. We don't need it.
姫君、おはよう。昨日の話の続きだが、私が何か失言をしてしまったのなら、謝らなければならない。
I think it's in the kitchen. Good morning, dear princess. I wish to apologize if I said something rude to you yesterday.
いや、起き抜けにする話ではないか。まずは朝の挨拶を。
I suppose this is not a topic to be discussing first thing in the morning. Where are my manners?
姫君、どうして顔を背けるのかな?
Princess, why do you have your back turned to me? She's like, 'cause I'm angry.
お前の周りを猫みたいにうろうろしてただろ。さすがに哀れになってきた。
It was like he was walking on eggshells around you. Even I felt bad for the guy. Oh, it's saying a lot from you, Adolphe. I do feel bad, but I didn't think it would be right to force my thoughts on him when he was at a place where he couldn't understand them. That said, continuing to wallow in my sullen mood wouldn't help anyone. I'm sorry for the trouble. I'll return to my usual self when we get back and treat him the same as I always do.
バカ言うな。迷惑だなんて思ってねえよ。むしろ少し安心した。
Don't be ridiculous. You're not causing any harm. If anything, I'm relieved to see you this way. Relieved? About what?
お前が自分のために怒ったり拗ねたりできることにだ。
That you're getting upset and sulking for your own sake.
お前は何かと他のやつのことを優先してばかりだからな。
Look he has, I like. You normally tend to prioritize others over yourself. What? I would never. As he said that, he used his free hand to pat my head.
今もアンクーのことが気に食わないのは変わってね
It's fine.
え。だが、
I can't say I like the guy even now, but
それだけは感謝しなきゃな。
I'm really grateful to him for that. Have I really changed that much?
ああ。もともと俺とマムの前ではよく笑っていたが、
You've always been able to smile often around me and mother.
今のお前はそれこそ自分のために泣いて怒って笑う。
But
普通
seeing
の人間
you
にしか見えねえよ。
as you are right now, you're just a regular human being who cries, laughs, and gets angry for themselves. Adolph's expression was a mixture of emotions, but happiness seemed to be the most prominent as he smiled at me. A regular human being? Me? Qu'est-ce que c'est? It was the very thing Ankou wished for me to become.
対等な同胞だからこそ、
I'm a little too
お前はあい
close
つの前で
to this. I only know this
感
because
情のまま振る舞うことができるんだろ
that was my sister just now, but she had just came home and the dog started barking right when I started my stream, and I pushed my seat back and it bumped into the thing over. This is the thing that decides how high my desk is going to be, which I haven't got this set up yet because the end goal is to be able to stand when I want to because my back sometimes hurts, so standing sometimes just helps me alleviate some stress on my back. And the other thing is I want to get a walker thing for under my desk. That way when I'm just chilling in here, like watching music videos or editing stuff, I can just walk at the same time. I don't think I can walk and stream at the same time. I have asthma. I don't know if I can walk and talk at the same time. I don't know if my lungs are ready for that. That could be a challenge, but I get winded walking upstairs. Let's not risk it. You're able to express your emotions around him since your partner's on equal footing,
う。
right?
事態が落ち
Oh,
着
I
いた
can
ら
speak.
アンクーとし
I
っ
also
か
have
り
a
話し合えよ。
drink. Wait. It's not product placement. I just wanna. When things settle down, make sure to sit down and have a nice talk with him, okay?
あいつとの仲がこじれて、お前の生き生きとした表情を見れなくなるのは、俺も嫌だからな。
I wouldn't want to see your liveliness go away because things get sour between you two. That's all.
心配すんな。あいつがまたバカなことを言ったら、俺が締め上げてやる。
Don't worry, if he ever says anything dumb again, I'll be sure to teach him a lesson. Adolphe reassured me with a promise befitting of an older brother. Thank you. I immediately felt an ease and nodded full of gratitude as his little sister. It's just as Adolphe says, I shouldn't be sulky and I need to tell Ankou how I feel. You aren't just a means to uncover the truth behind the curse. You're simply a very precious person to me. And yet, hear me out. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is this should have taken this long to figure out. My rush of emotions had settled somewhat thanks to Adolphe. I had planned to go straight home and talk things out with Ankou. However, we haven't seen Mathis or Sheen yet. So why not drag this out more? We're gonna visit.
リライバーはお見舞い禁止だなんて僕聞いてないです。
I didn't know livers were banned from visiting patients here. Do I need to skip? I'm gonna start skipping. As we drew closer to the hospital where Nadia is, we looked over to see a boy standing at the hospital entrance. In front of him stood a man who was probably a hospital employee.
この間は普通に入れましたよね。
Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay, so in this route, she hasn't met Dahat because she's trying to end her life. And instead of agreeing to the terms and conditions given to her by Ankou day one, she's like, nah. So she didn't go through that entire course of action with the rest of the people. So she hasn't met Dahat yet in this universe. Just seems weird.
先日からリライバーの立ち入りは禁止になりました。
We're enforcing a new policy prohibiting relivers from entering the
それが
hospital.
国立研究所の関係者ならなおさら。
This especially, so it doesn't especially, this applies to everybody. including, like, if you don't let one reliver in, it means the same for all of them. Doesn't matter. This especially applies to those affiliated with the National Research Institute.
ああ、もしかしてこの間のナディアとの会話を聞かれちゃった感じです。
I see. You guys probably overheard my conversation with Nadia the other day, didn't you?
でも別に余生を穏やかに過ごす人の邪魔なんてわざわざしないですよ。
I promise I'd never do anything to get in the way of someone who just wants to spend their remaining years in peace.
僕はただ彼女にお見舞いのお花とお手紙を届けに来ただけで。
I just wanted to bring her a get well card and some flowers, that's
院
all.
長の判断ですのでお引き取り願います。
It's at the director's discretion. It's the director's decision. I request that you please leave.
うー
Left with no other choice, the boy turned to leave the hospital grounds. Adolphe and I exchanged glances upon overhearing a familiar's name.
ナディア。確かリュカ先生の妹だったか。
Nadia, isn't that Lucas's sister? Yes, we became friends when we were here to investigate the other day. I wonder if he's a friend of hers too.
話を聞いてみるか。国立研究所の名前が出たことも気にかかる。
Let's try hearing him out. They mentioned the institute, which just kind of bothers me. It's fine. Oh, has he not met Dahat? So
どうしよう。せっかく用意してきたのに。
why were we here? Why were we here if we were not going to go in? Why would you let him get this far before exchanging words with him? Why are we dragging this so much? I love Dahat. Okay, this is one of my favorite characters in this game. I'm done hearing about Dahat though, right? I'm good. Liam Revpoor can do what he wants with this universe. What do? I went out of my way to prepare these things. Wow. Ran after him, finding him sitting on a bench by the canal. Excuse me, if there's something you'd like to give to Nadia, we can deliver it for you. I politely made my offer to the boy.
いいんですか?
Is that really okay? He gave an innocent smile and jumped right back onto his feet. When he faced us, I could see that he did indeed have a beautiful, multicolored eyes of a reliver. And that's why I don't believe.
申し遅れました。僕はダハト。国立研究所の副所長を務める
I forgot
見
her
ての
name.
通りのリライバーです。
Would be mistaken for a reliver. I'm Dahat, by the way. As you can see, I'm a reliver and I'm also the deputy director of the National Research Institute. The deputy director.
お前みたいな子供がか？
A child like you? Honestly, this is pretty close. If this was like Dahat dressing like a girl, this outfit would be pretty close. This has ruching, I don't know what the right word is here, gatherings, except it has long sleeves. This is why I bought it, honestly. These sleeves, I bought this for these sleeves. Where did I get this? Goodwill? Savers? Goodwill or Savers? It was like $5.
リライバーを見た目で判断するなかれ。こんなに可愛くても僕、結構なおじいちゃんなんですよ。
You can never judge a reliver by its appearance. I may be cute, but I'm actually an old man inside. He pointed at the lab coat draped over the bench as proof.
アドルフさんは事情があって別行動してると捕獲作戦の時にイブさんから聞いてました。
I remember Eve saying
だから
that you were
初めまし
busy
てですね。
on that one day we met to plan Barreau's capture. So nice to finally meet you.
まあな。最終的には逃がしちまったが。
He ended up getting away in the end. The hot then turned his gaze towards me.
そちらがアドルフさんのしばらく行方不明だったっていう妹さんです。
Could you be Adolphe's younger sister, the one who went missing? Yes, that's me. I'm Leah. It's a pleasure to meet a friend of Nadia's.
僕もです。すごい偶然ですよね。
Likewise, what a small world.
リライバーかつその研究者なんてここに入院してる人たちには親の仇のように嫌われるんでしょうけど。
Both relivers and institute researchers are treated like the plague by the patients at the hospital, but
彼女はそのあたり全然気にしないみたいで、話しているうちに意気投合してお友達になっちゃいました。
Nadia didn't seem to care much about it, so we sort of became friends after we struck up a conversation. In terms of appearance, you both look around the same age. The hospital was managed by the Society of the Exorcists, which disregarded the Reliver system. Could it be possible that Nadia, who was a patient there, and her brother Lucas also felt the same
け
way?
どまさかリライバーがお見舞い禁止になるとは。
One of
病院
them
で何かあ
does.
ったんでしょうか。
Just one of them really doesn't like Relivers. Like a lot. Like you wouldn't believe how much, like crazy amounts. I sure didn't think that Relivers would be forbidden from visiting altogether. Did something happen at the
ブ
hospital?
ローには違法製造されたリライバーが存在する。
The multiple bureaus are suspected to be illegally produced Reliver clones.
もしあの現場を病院関係者が目撃していたら、リライバーの立ち入りを禁止してもおかしくねえな。
If a hospital worker bore witness to that, then it's no surprise that they're banning Relivers from stepping foot in the hospital.
ああ、確かに。お見舞いを装って侵入されたりしたらたまりませんもんね。
Do I need to buy a new headset? I can't tell if the staticking is only on my side. I see, that makes sense. It'd be a real problem if one tried to sneak in by pretending to visit patients. Judging by his height, it was pretty obvious that he wasn't Barreau, but one could never be too careful. There was also the possibility that their anti-Reliver beliefs held sway over this
じ
decision.
ゃあ早速ですが、このお花とお手紙をナディアにお願いできますか。
Sorry for jumping over into things, but could I ask you to give Nadia these flowers and this letter for me? I nodded and took the items from the hut. Are they lilies? She would love lilies. When I handed them to Nadia,
きれい。
oh, how pretty! An adorable smile bloomed across her
ダハ
face.
トくん、毎日研究で忙しいって言ってたのに、
He told me he was always busy at the institute.
お見舞いに来るだけじゃなくて、こんな素敵な贈り物まで用意してくれるなんて。
Not only did he try to visit, but he also prepared these lovely
素
gifts.
敵なお友達ができて、私はとっても幸せ者だわ。
I'm so lucky I was able to make such a wonderful friend. She hugged the bouquet as if to guard her new treasure. We'll make sure to let the hut know that you loved his gifts.
リライバーが立ち入り禁止になったのは、例の事件と教団の思想が理由か？
Do you know if the recent incidents and the society's beliefs are behind the new rule?
それもあるってカプシーヌ先生は言っていたけれど、
Dr. Capuchin did mention that it was one of the reasons.
実は理由はもう一つあって、
But there's another big one.
先生、どうしても会いたくない人がリライバーにいるらしいの。
It seems there's a certain Reliver he doesn't want to see. Someone he doesn't want to see?
先生は少し前にね、クーネに住んでるリライバーの女の人と出会って、
Well, recently he met a female Reliver working in Cohen.
その時にいっぱいお酒を飲まされて具合が悪くなっちゃったんですって。
She made him drink quite a lot and he felt unwell because of it. That story sounded awfully
そ
familiar.
れ以来、病院にまで遊びに来るようになっちゃったから、
Ever since then, she's been coming by the hospital
そ
to
の人
visit.
が入れないようにリライバーの人たちを入れないようにしたって兄様に話していたわ。
So he told my brother that he made this new rule so she wouldn't be allowed in
もとも
anymore.
とここにはリライバーの人はほとんど来ないし、
Relivers don't visit much to begin
今
with.
入院している人を追い出すようなことはしないから問題ないだろうって。
And he said he wouldn't kick out any patient who's already been admitted, so it wouldn't be a problem. Could that lady perhaps be Spinel?
何やってんだ、あいつは。
What is that woman doing? Neither of us said it out loud, but I just knew we were both thinking the same thing.
なんというか、カプシーヌも災難だな。
How do I say this? I guess Capuchin's pretty troublesome in his own way.
そうかしら。私は彼女のことを話してる時の先生、とっ
Really?
ても好きよ。
I really like to see how he is when he's talking
い
about
つも
her.
落ち着いている先生がその人のことを話している時は
He's usually very calm, but whenever she's the topic of
感
conversation,
情のままに怒ってとっても楽しそうだもの。
He gets really worked up and full of emotion, like he's really enjoying himself. I'm glad that we're giving Capuchin a love interest in this story.
それは普通に困ってるだけじゃないか?
But just sounds like he's at the end of his rope. Well, only he knows how he truly feels. But from what I remember, Spinel was wary, or rather had a bad feeling about Capuchin, yet she was continuing to go out of her way to interact with him. There must be a reason. I made a mental note to ask her about it the next time I saw her.
ダハト君ってすごいのよ。
You know, Leah, Dahat's really
ダ
amazing.
ハト君、将来的にずっと感情を保てるリライバーを作るための研究をしているんですって。
Dahat told me that he's researching a way to create relivers that can retain people's human emotions. Emotions?
リライバー化の時にこぼれ落ちるあの感情のことか?
You mean the emotions that are lost during the process of becoming a reliver?
そうよ。
If I remember correctly, Nadia continued as she recalled their conversation. I'm not.
器に重きを置くシアンさんに。だからメモリーをどうにかいじっ
It's because of his mom. He just wants to bring back his mom from the
って
dead.
言っていたわ。
Relivers that can retain their emotions. That would be
実現
wonderful.
すればこの国の恋愛観が丸ごと変わるかもしれねえな。
If he's successful, that would completely change this country's view on love.
そうなの。ダハト君はまだ理論の段階だって言っていたけれど、
Exactly. He said he's still in the stages of developing the theory.
ダハト君ならきっと叶えられるって私は信じてる。
I believe that Dahat will definitely be successful.
あなたたちも彼のことを応援してあげてね。
I hope you can all give him your support too, Leah. Yes, of course. Nadia spoke with bright eyes as if she were Dahat himself. If I were Dahat, what? If she? As if she were, okay. It was hard to believe that the bright smile belonged to the hospital patient. You can smile. We left the hospital and reported Nadia's condition and reactions to the gift to Dahat.
よかった。母以外の女性に花を贈るなんて今までしたことがなかったから。
I'm happy to hear it. I've never given flowers to a girl that wasn't my mother,
ナディアが喜んでくれるか不安だったんですよね。
so I wasn't sure how she'd react. You put a lot of thought into it, so I'm sure she would have loved any flower you picked up for her.
ありがとうございます。お二人には何から何までお世話になりっぱなしですね。
You two been you to help.
手紙も渡しておいた。その場では読まなかったが。
Wait, give her your letter too. She didn't read it while we were there, though.
ならよかったです。さすがにお二人の前で読まれるのは恥ずかしいので。
That's fine. I'd be embarrassed if she read it in front of you two. Embarrassed?
あの手紙には僕の理想というか、ナディアと出会ったことでできたもう一つの夢を書いたんです。
In the letter, I wrote about my ideals, like the new dream I have now thanks to meeting
メ
Nadia.
モリーの研究よりも先にこの国の呪いを解いて、
More than researching memory capacity, I want to undo this country's
彼
curse.
女と彼女のお兄さんリュカさんの寿命を少しでも伸ばしたいって。
And hopefully extend the lifespans of her and her brother, Lucas. Wow, it was hard to hide our shock from hearing this, that someone else had the same goals we did. Dahat must have mistaken our reaction for something more negative as he gave us a forced
自分で
smile.
も無茶だとは分かってます。
I know it's absurd.
でも初めて出会った時ナディア
That's not absurd.
泣いてたんです。
When I first met Nadia, she was
兄であ
crying.
るリュカさんが自分よりも先に死んでしまう未来を想像し、
She was picturing a future where her older brother died before she did.
その涙の理由を聞いて、
When I heard the
僕は
reason behind her
メ
tears,
モリーの欠陥さえ何とかすればリライバーは完璧な生命だと思っていた自分が恥ずかしくなりました。
I was ashamed of myself for thinking that we could make relivers perfect just by fixing their memory defects.
私はこんな体で他のみんなは健康でいくらありのままの命で長生きし
I already know Nadia's way of life. I know Dahat. I
完
understand.
璧な生命と普通の人間は似ているようで全然違う。
perfect life forms, regular human beings, but they're completely
外
different.
の国の人のように生まれ持った肉体に際限なき感情を抱いて
People outside the country have just one body that possesses limitless
大
emotions.
切な人と共に一度きりの生を駆け抜けていく
They experience their one and only chance at life with their loved ones.
それがきっと僕たち科学者が目指すべき普通の人間の姿なんです
That's the kind of normal human existence we should have been working towards all along. Normal human existence. Dahat looked fondly in the direction of the
僕
hospital.
は大切なことを気づかせてくれた彼女を
I want to save the
どうしても
girl
救いたい
who helped me come to this
だ
realization.
から手紙という形でしっかり約束したんです
That's why I made a promise to her in
彼
my
女の
letter
夢から逃げないように
that I won't run from her dream.
誰にでも
Dahat.
できることじゃない。
That's not something just anyone can do. Well, roundabout, it was Adolph's way of supporting Dahat's vow.
ありがとうございますと言っても調査はまだこれからなんですけどね
Thank you. All that said, I'm only just getting started on my investigation.
まずは呪いがいつからあるかとか基本的なところから調べないと
First things first, I have to start with the basics, like when the curse first appeared and whatnot. That doesn't sound easy, especially when you consider how we didn't even know our lifespans were much shorter than the average for a long time. And that we only found out from the drifter who washed ashore here from abroad. The Hot agreed with a distant look in his eyes.
はあお城の書庫ならそのあたりも書いてあると思うんだけどな
There might be something written about it in the books in the castle library.
城の書庫
Castle library.
ああはい歴史的に価値のある古い本や歴代の王族が示した手記などを保管している場所です
There's a library in the castle where they keep old books of historical value and memories of the past royal members.
俺たちがそれを読むことはできるか？
Could anyone read these books?
あはは無理ですよ無理無理あそこにある本は王族以外の閲覧が禁止されてますからね
Of course not. Absolutely impossible. The books in the castle library are forbidden to anyone apart from royalty.
読みたいならそれこそこっそり忍び込むしかないですねなんちゃって
Really want gain access to those books, you'd have to sneak into the castle like anyone would. The Hat laughed it off as a joke. Meanwhile, Adolph and I looked at each other and nodded before asking. Dahat, if we told you that we'd actually like to sneak into the castle, would you be able to help us?
え
Huh? And if we wanted to?
結果その副所長の協力で城の書庫に侵入する方法を得たわけか
So as a result, we've acquired the means to infiltrate the castle library with this deputy director's help.
現状最善の策だね呪いの始まりを知れば解明する方法も自然と導き出されるはずだ
That's the best course of action we can take at present. Understanding the curse's beginnings may just help us undo it.
姫君もそう思うだろう
Don't you agree, princess? Yeah. What do I do? I had decided to talk things out with Ankou, but I couldn't find the right opportunity. Especially since we had to work out the details of our plan to sneak into the castle, which Dahat had to come up with. There was simply no time to bring up something so personal. This will definitely take some time. It may be better to wait until things calm down before I can make it up to him. Which was why I set aside my personal feelings so we could focus on the plan.
しかし他でもない君が城への侵入なんて策を持ち出すとは思わなかったな
All things considered, I certainly didn't expect you to broach the topic of infiltrating the royal castle.
俺だってお前にあれだけ言われればこいつの意志を尊重する。
After all your nagging, of course I'd respect Leah's wishes.
仮に何があろうとこいつだけは俺たちで守り抜くぞ。
And if anything were to happen, we'll protect her as if it's the last thing we
当
do.
然だいざとなれば無能な君を見捨てて姫君の命と安全を確保する
That goes without saying, and If the situation calls for it, I will not hesitate to leave your incompetent self behind for her safety.
言い方は尺に触るが、まあいい。
I don't like how you said it, but sure.
その前にもう一度確認するが、呪いの元凶はリコリス・ノワージュじゃない。
Just to confirm.
それは確かなんだな。
You're sure the Lycoris VOD aren't the source of the curse? Eve's and the Lycoris VOD and Ankou's relationship with Eve's family. Adolf asked his questions to make sure of the promise Ankou made with Eve's family long ago.
ああ、何度問うてくれても構わないよ。
Yes, and you can ask as many times as you want. Hearing that Ankou's reply wasn't disrupted, Adolf seemed to relax a little. But the wall we needed to overcome couldn't be climbed on resolve alone. The castle of the royal family was connected to the institute. It wouldn't be easy to figure out how to sneak past the institute's security and royal guard. But we could try. In 2 days, the Hot will be invited to the castle. We pose as his assistants and sneak in together. I'm pretty sure we did this. Didn't we do this? And later on, we'll split off and head towards the library.
ふむ。
But looking back, don't you have a special ability that can hide us, Ankou? It might be safer and more foolproof if we use that
残
instead.
念ながら、人の世に合わせて形を取るため、力の大半は冥界に置いてきてしまってね。
Unfortunately, by manifesting myself into the appearance of mortals, most of my powers were left deep within
自分だ
Hades.
けならばまだしも、他人、姫君たちの姿を隠すのはいささか骨が折れる。
I can manage to cloak my own presence, but I doubt I can sufficiently provide coverage for others, dear princess.
つまり、役立たずってことだな。
In other words, you're useless.
無力なままブローに無様に殺されそうになったどこぞの無能よりはマシだと思う。
I'm still far more useful than a certain powerless someone who was nearly crushed to death by Barreau.
よく言う。剣も持てない貧弱のくせに。
You're one to talk, you can't even handle a sword. I completely forgot. I can't rely on Ankou to fill the contract on his own, so we'll figure out some other way. Seeing the two of them glare at each other, I hurriedly tried to change the subject. We'll be infiltrating with a small group, so it may be best not to have Spinel along as a guard this time. Ankou agreed and justified my statement.
君たちの話を聞く限り、あちらはあちらでカプシーヌと接触し、何か調べているようだ。
From what I gather, it seems she's doing some investigation of her own by interacting with Capuchin, to the point that Capuchin has refused service. Afterwards, we discussed escape routes and each in case we were found out, and as well as meeting spots if we were to get separated. My ability to read has been getting worse. I think I'm tired. Oh no. After eating and getting ready for the day, I stepped out for some fresh air, but someone had thought the same thing. Adolf, I didn't see you inside. I was wondering where you were.
ああ。少し外の空気を吸いたくなってな。
I just wanted to get some fresh air. Me too. I automatically moved to stand next to
アン
him.
クーと話せたのか？
Did you talk things out with Ankou? Not yet. It didn't feel right to bring up something so personal while we were in the middle of planning such an important mission. I'll be sure to when we make it back safe and
そう
sound.
か。お前らしいな。
I see that's very like you to push things back. Yeah. That is like me. Seemingly satisfied, Adolf looked up towards the
呪
sky.
いを解くために命がけで城に忍び込むか。
Risking our lives to sneak into the castle and try to undo the curse, huh?
少し前の俺なら誰に何を言われてもお前にそんな危険を冒させなかっただろうな。
If you had asked me not long ago, I would have never let you do anything that's that dangerous, no matter what anyone said. That's true. You've always been concerned about my safety. I agreed with his nonchalantly, however.
いや、
No,
違うんだ。
that's not it. Adolf countered my statement, seemingly somewhat distressed as he did. He stepped back, putting some distance between us. Adolf?
俺は
Leah, I am a wanderer.
出会った時からずっとお前をひどい嘘で騙し続けてる。
I've been lying to you all these years ever since we met. What do you mean? Adolph's eyes shook with
お前
anxiety.
は俺がリライバーにならないことを知って、その命を守るために呪いに挑むと言っていたな。
You said you want to fight the curse to keep me alive because you found out that I wouldn't become a reliver, right?
だが、本当はお前がそんなことをする必要なんて
But the truth is, you don't
Nein.
need to do that. Huh? I had no idea why he would say such a thing. Why would I not fight the curse? Adolph's life was going to end soon. What are you talking about? It can't just be that you decided to become a reliver after all. Adolph quietly responded by shaking his head at my confused question.
悪い。今は
We can't go into detail. I'll share it to you someday. With a voice that was determined while still. What? I realized something thanks to Ankou. Adolph
あいつが言
continued.
ってたように、今まで俺は守るだけの騎士役に徹して、お前の状況をその償いにはならないだろうが。だから、もう。
Could you wait? I couldn't believe to begin to picture what Adolph was lying about. He himself said that it was a pretty awful, but I understand. I don't know what exactly you're burdened with, but no matter what you tell me, I'll never change the fact that we're family. Right? We're family? Why? That was one thing I could say with confidence, so I hope you can open up to me with no worries. Thanks. When I gave him my response, Adolph smiled kindly in return.
お前を本当の意味で自由にしようとしなかった俺に、こんなことを言う資格はねえが。
I know I don't have any right to say this as someone who didn't try to give you true freedom.
いつか、俺をはじめとした誰かのためじゃなく、
But rather than doing this for someone including
自
me,
分自身のために呪いを解きたいと願ってくれ。
I hope that one day you work to undo the curse for no one but yourself. You prayed for my future.
間違ってもまた自死なんて選ぼうとするなよ。
Okay, well that didn't help. That's not better. Don't you ever choose to kill yourself no matter what happens.
あの探検は他でもないお前がガキの頃、俺の身に危険がないようにと送ってくれたものだろ。
That dagger was the one you gave me when we were kids to protect me from danger.
そんなことに使わせるために受け取ったんじゃない。
I didn't accept it just so you could use it on yourself. You're right, let me give it back to... Oh, now that I think about it, I haven't seen it since then.
なんだ。
Did you lose it? I think so. I'm really sorry.
いい。お前の話から考えると、多分リコリスの花畑のどこかに落ちてるだろ
It's fine. Judging by what you said, you probably left it in the Lycoris field
う。間
somewhere.
違っても一人で探しに行こうとするなよ。
Don't go back there to look for it by yourself, got it? Don't go in the middle of the night. Don't talk to strangers. Okay. It seemed that all I did was cause Adolph trouble. Don't get kidnapped. Later, while waiting for Taha to contact us, we began preparing for what we would do once we got into the castle. Adolph adjusted his corpse schedule to ensure his shift wouldn't overlap with the mission. I went to see Mother to let her know I was fine, hoping that would keep her from making any surprise visits to Adolph's house. Adolph also taught me some basic self-defense and went over an escape plan in case things went wrong. We're good, we're ready. The 2 days passed in a blink of an eye. We were in the laboratory with the hut and no one else. We were and we're being told the plan on getting inside the castle. The plan he proposed to us was surprisingly simple.
ちょうど今夜、僕は不在のシアンさんに代わり、王族の皆さんに呼び出されてます。
How many chapters? Ankou walkthrough. I'm not. I just want how many chapters? Just curious. We're on EpiC. Are we on? Oh my god, we are, right? Right. I just want to know how many chapters there are. First few CGs can be unlocked by playing the side story. That's fine. To complete all the CG glossaries, you will need to play all the side stories. Encore, Motion Drifter, Ankou, Ultraloop. Listen, we're too late for that. How many chapters are here? What should I do? I don't know. Actually, she doesn't have listed how many chapters. I just want to know if it's only 4 chapters. I just want to know if it's 4 chapters. Did this say chapter 6? Please tell me that's a lie. Oh, if there's 6 chapters, guys. I'm just sitting there going like, man, this is forever. This never ends. Someone told me this hat was great, and they lied to me. They said Ankou got his just desserts, and I don't know if I said that right. I might not have used that right. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Keep going. For science. Since Sheen's not around, the royal family has asked me to see them tonight.
なのでお二人には
Act of my subordinates.
謁見するのは僕だけでしょうから、そこで別れ
The rest is up to you after we part ways. I'm not gonna sit through it. To Hot's instruction and mine, we split up once he met with the royal family and managed to find the corridor that led to the library. There was a guard stationed by the room. As planned, I hid in the shadows behind one of the large pillars. Now. I tossed a small rock that I picked up outside into the middle of the hall. I like our Assassin's Creed tactics here. Hearing the small sound, the soldier came towards us to investigate. He bent down to pick up the small stone that caused the sound. In the next moment, 2 shadows came down upon the soldier. Adolphe and Ankou restrained him. Ankou pinned the man down while Adolphe choked him until he fell unconscious. Nice. Ankou and Adolphe then bound and gagged the soldier before tossing him into another room. The 2 returned, and in Adolphe's hand was a small key to open the door to the archive. Sorry for the wait.
これで心置きなく中を調べられるはずだ。
Now we should be able to search without interference. I see, thanks. The perfect cooperation while working together was a little scary. And here we are. Adolphe unlocked the old door and we all pushed it open. The moment we stepped inside, we were greeted by the unique smell of old books and papers. I've been here before. These are the royal family archives. Look at all these books. Perhaps feeling burdened by the lab coats, they took them off, also because we didn't want to animate them wearing them, so that's gone. Figuring the search would take a while, I headed straight towards the back of the room when... I got scanned. In front of me was a breathtaking emblem of light. That looks a lot like Mama's tattoo, right? Surprised, I instinctively jumped back. This is the last chapter. Nice to see you again. Ribbon, it's not. I just googled to see how many chapters this is, and I saw someone say 6. So it could have 2 more chapters after 4. So I don't know. I don't know when or if we're gonna ever actually see the end of this game, man. Because this is playing just like Das Salut. So in Das Salut, they go here. Is that where you're going fast? Actually, no. The reason I'm going fast is for a specific reason. So this is basically rehashing a lot of stuff that happened in the previous game. This already happened in the other game. So instead of giving us just new content, they're sprinkling in new content mixed in with the old content. So when I'm skipping, it's stuff I remember from the previous play. Because they did this exact same thing. They broke into this thing, the light came up, they got some information, yada yada yada. Eventually Sheen finds out that Adolf is a second drifter, and then they get kidnapped by the Institute and are like subjects. It never ends. Which is why I was like, if this is following so closely to the previous game, it can't end. It didn't end in 4 chapters, so. That's why I'm going fast. It's just rehashing a lot. This happened in the last game. The floor opens. She goes into this underground area. There's hidden stairs.
そのようだ。だがなぜ姫君が通りかかった途端に。
It seems so, but why did it appear when you got here? Maybe it was by accident. I didn't even touch the light that appeared. Ankou looked down the stairwell leading underground.
いかにも何かあるといった空気だ。
Maybe they were going for word count. I swear you've been going through this game for almost a year. I started this in November. Part of the problem is in January and February, actually December too. In December, January, and February, I had just started my other job. And that job was making me work 6 days a week, and I was so tired I didn't want to stream on my days off, so I wasn't streaming that much for 3 months. It's part of the problem. But 2, this is dragging. Like, this is dragging. And them rehashing everything is making it drag more. But yeah, I feel like it's a word count they wanted to hit or something. They actually did the same thing in the previous game, where you had to replay the prologue but with new content. So I was doing the same thing then too, because there'd be like a big chunk of just rehashing what had already happened. We already had the exact same dialogue, and then suddenly something new would happen at the very end of it. And it's killing me. Something obviously lies down there.
ここの本を片っ端から調べるとしても
And you want to know what lies down
目
there?
星もついてないからな。
Like our mom's diary. Our mom's diary. We don't know it's our mom though. We just know she's a queen. It doesn't seem like we'll find what we're looking for if we focus on the books
こ
here.
の先にある地下から調べるのが順当だろう。
I think it'd be best to start our search down these stairs. You're right. Let's take a look. I also don't know how she triggered the open. I forgot. Because like her DNA's corrupted. I don't know if that's it. I stuck a candle through that I brought with me on a candlestick holder and lit it to help us down the stairs. We made our way down into the depths of the darkness with the utmost care until we finally arrived at a rusty door. Beyond it was an abandoned room in ruins. Oh.
さっきまでいた書庫と比べるとひどいありさまだね。
Compared to the archive, this has been horribly maintained. Ankou leisurely picked up one of the books from the
こ
floor.
れはこれは。どうやら私たちはとんでもない宝の山を見つけてしまったようだ。
It seems we have stumbled upon a mountain
こ
of
こは呪い
treasures.
の正体を調査するための個人的な研究室らしい。
It seems this place was a personal laboratory used to investigate the truth behind the curse. What luck! The information we had been searching for seemed to be in this very room. But I wonder why the room was kept hidden like this. Whoever was researching the curse could have worked with the Institute. As that thought came to mind, I noticed a single book left alone on top of a broken table, and it's our mama's diary. It must have been used often, as it was showing more wear and tear compared to the other books. It was so worn that I thought it might fall apart and slip out of my hand. I looked carefully to see the author of the diary, whose name was written on the inside. Christine Revapor. The name Revapor meant that this person was a member of the royal family. I had never heard of her name before. I carefully turned the worn pages. We're gonna skip. Hatred, hate, 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 hate. Something about Hades. Turn their back on the people, the true sinners. Blood on their hands. I felt her powerful emotion from the fading words. I thought they did this in Mom's voice, by the way. Hearing me gasp, Adolphe and Ankou peeked into the diary from both sides. Oh, I was waiting for her to speak. I was waiting to hear Mom. This is Mom's diary. I'm also a woman who detests the curse of the death. The curse of death led people to die. The only way to escape from it was through reliver technology. His technology was vastly innovative and already established when I succeeded the throne. My brother was already abusing reliver technology for his own gain. Yada yada. They did every detestable thing imaginable. The worst they have done is unthinkable. They began killing the homeless and those without families so the bodies could be used for research, something Sheen did not desire. In the end, those murders were in vain as Sheen scoffed at the meaningless sacrifices laid at his feet, not wanting any part of it. 3 years after taking the throne, I took action out of concern for the situation. I rewrote the laws related to relivers and gave jobs to the impoverished who were in danger of having no future. We can't fully depend on this technology. As long as the reliver's manufacturing process is limited, there will always be lives left behind. Therefore, in order to save the people, it is the royal family's duty to take immediate action to investigate and lift the curse of death. I issued the statement to my own family. Those who had become disgusted with the royal family, greed came to my side, and as well as those who showed loyalty to the crown. But apart from my husband, none in my family supported my ideals. They began their efforts to stop me. Sheen was left to do his research freely, so why did they not grant me the same? Sensing something ominous, I conducted a secret investigation to discover the books and diaries hidden in this very chamber, hundreds of years ago when this country was born. Before contact was severed with the outside world, we were cursed by death with a great war occurred and engulfed the entire world when I brought to light what I had discovered. My family, of my own blood, sent assassins to see my death. Fortunately, I was able to escape with only a scar on my face, which disappeared when I became a reliver to buy time for my research. Is the royal family trying to stop me because they already know the source of the curse? Yada yada, yada yada. I'll accept that heaven has forsaken me. My only regret is losing the precious jewel born to me and my husband when I was 20, when my husband was still alive. Liam, my precious son, my uncle and his daughter will likely assassinate him to clear the way to the throne they have desired for so long. Please, I hope that you will survive. They really smudged Liam, huh? The diary ended with a mother's wishing for her son's life to be spared. I've never heard of her. You have been raised by this woman your entire life.
いや、同じくと言いたいところだ
I'd
が、
like to agree.
心当たりはある。当時王族の中で珍しく確かリライバーに関する法律。
Haven't we heard about someone as important as the queen? Because the victors write the books. It's a reminder out there. If you're ever like, good always triumphs, the winners write the books. Of course, she wasn't in any of your lessons. They didn't want you to talk about her.
存在自体は知られていたのだろう。だが、即位した期間が短い上、
晩年、実際のところは式通
I'm
り。
guessing they kill those who are against it. That's horrible. I traced a finger over her son's name in the diary. While the name itself was blurred and illegible, I knew well that she must have written it with powerful emotion. Queen Christine, and perhaps even her son too, must have wished to undo the curse. I wondered why. A state of existence so natural to the outside world feels so far out of reach. What's so terrible about yearning for something more? Yada yada. I felt like my wish was being denied by Arpachel itself. Why are they doing this to me? After reading the diaries containing the curse and regrets of the late queen, we put our lab coats on again and rejoined Ahat, who had just finished his meeting. In the end, we were all about to leave the castle unscathed. Were? If we stayed at the Institute, there was a chance the Royal Guard would come after us. We decided to share the information we gained with the Hot at Adolph's house, which was far from any prying eyes. Queen Christine succeeded the throne after reliver technology was developed, which was around 60 years ago.
クリスティーヌ女
How
王
old
を
are you,
暗殺した
Dahad?
のは今即位している彼女の叔父とその娘だろうな。
Sounds like the queen was assassinated by the current king and her son,
こ
her
の事実
daughter,
が
his
公
daughter.
になれば民からの反発は免れないだろう。
I bet there'll be a coup d'etat the moment this goes public. But if the royal family found out that we knew about the assassination and their involvement in the curse, they would probably use every means at their disposal to get rid of us. We need to keep ourselves well hidden. The Hot, you will live. You were alive around then, right? Do you know anything about what she was investigating?
僕当時生身の5歳児でしたからね。さすがに覚えてないですけど、暗殺については特に驚くことでもないです。
I was only about 5 years old back then, you know. Can't say I remember much, but I'm not surprised about the assassination bit.
ん
Why is
あの
that?
人たち、今もシアンさんに暗殺者とか普通に送ってきてますし。
Those folks are still sending assassins to Sheen even now. Wait a minute, is he alright?
ああ、ご心配なく。毎回本人が弱みを握った上で返り討ちにしてるんで。
Oh, no worries. He always uses their weaknesses to turn the tables and have his revenge. I hadn't met Sheen before, but I could tell that he was strong both physically and mentally. As if wanting to change the subject, the Hot looked at Ankou standing quietly in the corner of the room.
あの人、どちら様です？さっきからすっごい僕の方を見てるんですけど。
Can you tell me who he is? He's been staring at me this whole time. So Ankou doesn't like Dahat because Dahat wasn't in the past. And why was Dahat not in the past? Great question. Here's the answer. Christine had Dahat when she was 20 years old. And previously, in the universe that Dahat is from, people died at 18 or something like that, 18 or 20. So, in his timeline, Christine died before she had this child. Thus, he didn't exist.
幽霊みたいなもんだ。
Don't let him
そ
bother
んな
you.
無茶な。本物の死神だってあんなすごい存在感はないと思いますよ。
I doubt even death would have such a strong presence. Ankou's usual carefree demeanor was completely absent. He didn't refute Adolph's remark and continued to stare at Dahat without saying anything. I wonder if young relivers are rare.
まあともあれ、王族が呪いに関わっているかもってことは。
Well, in any case, the fact that the royal family may be involved in the curse is one thing.
呪いには人間が関与できる明確な原因があるって証明になりま
Try
す
to
よ
take
ね。
my socks off. Hear me out. There's definitely a reason why humans here are connected to the curse. If that's true, that means there's still hope. We still haven't uncovered the truth, but Dahat looked very happy as we found new information about the curse that had long been hidden. Trying to get more comfortable. I'm gonna be sitting here for at least an hour.
それで、そんなすごい手記が残っている隠し部屋をどうやって見つけたんですか？
How did you find the hidden room? About that. I explained to Dahat the strange phenomenon that occurred in the archive, which opened the room. Thank you. Thank you for consideration.
皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
Stretching.
でしょでし
Oh.
ょ。
Oh yeah, I gotta add new sound bites. I've made some. I just have to actually create them. And we'll have some new sounds for these things. Eeh. When I passed a certain area, a beautiful emblem on the ground appeared in front of me.
文様？
Emblem.
説明するより絵で
You're right. Let's draw it. I brought a piece of paper. It looks something like that. Adolf said the same way. What did she say? I'm pretty sure I didn't say Alexa. What? I then held up the drawing for Dahat to look at. For some reason, Dahat froze. He stared at the drawing from top and bottom, and was completely entranced by the image. Is there a problem, Dahat? Dahat suddenly snapped back to reality.
ああ、すみません。こんな綺麗な文様、なかなかお目にかかれないので、つい見とれてしまって。
I've never seen something so beautiful. I guess I couldn't help but admire it.
あなたが見たのは多分、スキャンタイプの遺伝子認証システムですね。研究所にもありますよ。
What you saw was probably a scanner for a gene authentication system. We have them at the Institute. He explained that it was a security system that where one registered their blood to trigger something to unlock in their
対象がリ
presence.
ライバーの場合、
Oh, that's right.
体に
She's got
刻まれた文
broken
様が
DNA.
浮かび上がることがあるんです。
The authorized party is a reliver. It's usually their mark there that appears. I've never seen such an innovative security system. My life was so distant from the technology that it felt like it came from another world.
そんな優れものがどうして。
Why did luck
そ
for
れ
her?
は僕にもなんとも。隠し部屋を作ったその女王様の血を引いている王族とか。
And the
なんちゃ
answer
って。
was, she does have the blood of the former queen. I just remembered. She was born like on the same place that Christine was murdered, and because she's broken and weird, she's got like all sorts of DNA in her. And Dahat even said at one point that she's basically the closest thing he'll ever have to a sister. I remember. What? My parents gave birth to me in the Lycoris field,
産み落とした。
out in the open.
こいつは生まれて間もないとこ。
They think they
リコ
abandoned
リス
her.
ノワージュの花畑。女王が協力者とやらと落ち合う場所として決めた場所と同じですね。
Maybe it's the same place, the location where the queen and her
う
supporter met.
ん。やたらとあの花の話ばかりが出てくるのが気になるな。
I'm curious about those flowers since they've come up several times now. He asked for specifics of the location and we told him everything we heard from Mother. Do you think the Lycorises are somewhat involved? I mean, the death that occurred when you plucked them is similar to the effects of the curse.
直接の原因でなくても、リコリスノワージュには何かがあるんでしょう。
I'm moving my little back pillow to see if I can lean back more. Do push me forward ever so slightly. I do think that the Lycos no DG are involved in some way. So I made this joke when I go to my hang out with my friend. There we go. That's a little better. That his car is too cool for me because it makes me lean back too much. I'm like, I can't lean this much. I'm not that cool. I do think the Lycos no DG are involved in some way, even if they're not the direct cause.
とは言っても。
There's no testing. He mentioned that some have attempted to examine the flowers as possible sources. All attempts failed because after they're plucked, everyone present suffered and died, yada yada. I wanted to express that to Dahat, but Adolphe and I both stayed quiet. Then again, we couldn't expect him to continue offering support if we kept so many secrets about Ankou's identity. I need to discuss with everyone later whether we could let him in. Yeah, let's tell Dahat everything. Trust.
それじゃあ僕は。
Head back. He was very quick to follow the lead. We uncovered the confirmation to confirm or rule out the Lycris's involvement. Confirming it, it's all for you to call. Are you sure you don't need someone to see you back to the Institute?
大丈夫です。お城も特に騒ぎになっていないようですから。
I'll be totally fine, especially as there seems that there's no commotion there whatsoever.
あ、そうそう。例の認証システム。多分故障で誤作動しただけだと思いますが。
Before I leave, I think the gene authenter scan may have activated because of a malfunction.
一応、あなたの血液を取らせてもらってもいいですか？王族じゃなくても、城の関係者の血縁って可能性もありますし。
Could I take a sample of your blood just in case? Even if you're not royalty, you might be related to someone at the castle. And the answer is no. Never give your DNA to somebody who asks for it. Dahat's professional must have him ready for anything as he brought out a medical kit from his pouch for blood samples. I wasn't too fond of those needles, but I should offer him.
ダメだ姫君。
No, dear princess.
どんなに小さくとも 君の美しい肌に傷をつけさせるわけにはいかない。
No matter how small, you mustn't lay a scratch on your beautiful skin. Ankou quietly moved next to me and stopped me from extending my arm. Dahat and I looked at him in surprise. Ankou gracefully moved in front of me and took a step towards Dahat. Like before, he stared at Dahat's face again.
あの、僕の顔に何かついてますです？
Is there something on my face? Dahat frowned, probably because he sensed something was different about Ankou based on his appearance and presence.
君は
You.
一体誰だ?
Who are you?
のあの男のそばに君のような少年などいなかったはずだが。
I don't recall him, Liam Revpoor, a young man like you. I don't know.
え?
Ankou tilted his head in bewilderment while mumbling to himself. Who is he? But he already introduced himself.
もしかして忘れられちゃった感じです？割と覚えやすい名前だと思ってたんだけどな。
I thought it was a name that was easy to remember. Ankou didn't respond and
さ
continued.
ほど気にすることではないか。大方によって以上生き延びた人間の子供か。
I suppose it's nothing of concern. He must be one of the children who survived beyond due to the Lycoris VOD. I don't know.
はい。
What did you say? Ankou nodded. He quietly headed back into the house, pondering the question he posed to himself. I swear, Ankou's intervention muddled the request to have my blood sampled. Perhaps feeling uncomfortable under Ankou's gaze, Dahat quickly left. Listen. Listen, Linda. I repeated the boy's name. No matter how many times I pondered, I simply couldn't recall anyone by that name.
私のリコリスによりした人間から生まれた子供が協力者になるとは。運命とは読めないものだ。
As I attempted to organize my thoughts regarding our new acquaintance.
おい、あいつはどうした？
Marcia, the ever so moody man, came back. Seeing Adolph's face up close was never a pleasant
外で
experience.
少年を見送っているよ。
She is seeing off the boy outside.
そうか。
What was this odd atmosphere?
相変わらずあいつと話していないのか？
I guess you still haven't talked to Leah.
君には関係のないことだろう。
That has nothing to do with you.
いや、ある。あいつに何かしたら許さないと俺は言ったはずだろ。
It does. I told you before I would never forgive you if you did anything
そ
to
れ
her.
は精神面でも同じことだ。どうせお前が悪いんだからとっととあいつと話し合え。
And that applies to her mental state too. You're clearly at fault, so just talk to Leah about it already.
何かと思えば君のその行動が伴わない兄面には本当にうんざりする。
I was wondering what you would say, but your sorry attempt to parade around as her brother really irritates me.
あいつと向き合う覚悟のない年寄りには言われたくねえな。
I don't want to hear that from some old guy who can't even talk to her properly.
なんだと？
What? I glared at Adolph with my blood-red eyes as if to question what he meant by his statement. Adolph continued to egg me on.
お前、前より感情的になってきたあいつに対して困惑してるだろ。
You have no idea how to deal with Leah now that she's become more emotional, do you? It's candy, by the way. When I become more emotional, candy. Offer me candy. Candy does wonders. In fact, it's a problem. He couldn't
死の
possibly.
番人が聞いて呆れるな。あいつを生かしてその変化をもたらしたお前が。
Hard to believe you're the watchman of death. You saved her life and triggered those changes.
あいつの変化に怯えてまともな話し合いもできねえんだから。
And now you're so scared of them that you can't even talk to Leah about it. Adolph was horrifyingly correct. As of late, Leah was exhibiting more emotions of all kinds compared to before. If I were to let my guard down, I may even forget the despair experienced on that fateful day. I understood this, and yet...
無理やり生かしたのなら、責任を取って、今のあいつと、正面から向き合え。
Are you one to talk? You forced her to continue living, so you better take responsibility and face her as she is
お前
now.
は一体、あいつを誰と比べてんだよ。
Just who do you think Leah is supposed to be?
黙れ。お前に俺の何がわかる。
What do you know about me? The last thing I wanted was to be ordered around by this insolent child who sacrificed her for his own self-preservation. Fight him. She's gonna walk into them fist fighting. That's gonna be hilarious, and I'm gonna laugh. I continued to watch Dahat until he disappeared into the distance. He's so strange. The royal family was involved in both the curse as well as the queen's assassination. It wouldn't be surprising for people to feel overwhelmed upon learning such a fact, especially a researcher who actively produces relievers for the sake of the country. Instead, Dahat seemed delighted upon gaining new pieces of information. I need to learn from his strength. If the curse that caused us to live shorter lives was the result of human involvement, then there's a chance that even I would uncover the truth behind it. Maybe you should have kept reading. As I am now, I don't have nearly enough strength or intelligence. Don't worry, we can level that up. This is a video game. If the royal family were to ever direct their malice towards me, I was in no position to protect anyone. I'm tired of always needing protection. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be able to protect those dearest to me if the situation ever called for it. I needed to find something that I could do, powerless as I may be. Word.
あ、まだ起きてたか。
Yeah, you're still awake. As I made my wish under the starry sky, I heard a familiar voice from further outside. Oh, Spinel, good evening. Are you enjoying a nice evening walk?
ああ、どうにも眠れなくてな。近くを通りかかったから様子を見に来たんだ。
Yeah, I couldn't fall asleep. I was in the area, so I figured I'd stop by to see how you were.
アンクーたちもまだ起きてるのか？
Are Ankou and Adolph still up too? Yes, they should be inside. We suddenly heard a loud noise that made me flinch. What could that
中で
be?
何かあったみたいだな。
Looks like something is going on in there. Yeah, look at Spinel. Look at them eyes, girl. Don't you see something in those eyes and that jawline? Spinel entered the yard to join me. I went into the house with her leading the way. Go on. Fragments of a broken vase was scattered on the floor with the two men grabbing each other by the collar right behind the mess. Ankou! Adolph! I called out to them, but was ignored.
失う絶望を知らないお前にだけは言われたくない。
I don't want to hear anything from you who has never experienced the pain of loss.
我が身可愛さに彼女の絶望を放置し、みすみす死なせかけたくせに。
As long as they're having fun. You just left her to wallow in her own despair for your own self-interest, and you almost let her die without raising a finger.
ああ、知らねえよ。俺はお前のおかげで何も失わずに済んだ。ただの無力な男だからな。
From reading this, conceptually, it almost sounds as if how dare you stopped her from dying, so now I don't know what grief feels like, right? You're right, I know nothing. Thanks to you, I'm just a helpless fool who doesn't have the slightest clue how loss feels. How dare you stop this girl from killing herself, so I don't know how it feels to lose her.
だからこそ期待してたんだ。
That's exactly why I expect more from you.
お前がそばにいれば、
Oh.
あいつは自分の幸せを願えるんじゃないかって。
Oh my gosh, act like I got nothing. No, Lincoln, you'll miss it. I miss everything on Pokemon Go. I thought that as long as you were by her side, Leah would be able to wish for her own
だっ
happiness.
てのにしょうもない理由で失望させるんじゃねえよ
And yet here you are. You've let me down for the stupidest reason. Upon seeing the heated argument between the two men that I couldn't grasp one bit, I just go I froze in place. There was nothing I could do to intervene, just like that time when they first met. You can intervene. Girl, walk up there. Smack them. It'll be all right. As I stood reeling from my confusion, Ankou's face went red and his eyes filled with rage. It seemed like punches would be thrown at any moment. Or so I thought. Spinel went up to them and grabbed the back of their heads without a word.
女が笑えない喧嘩なら外でやれ男ども
Fights like these ought to be taken outside, boys. I'm gonna assume she went like that. She hit their foreheads together with a frightening amount of force. They staggered in place while holding their heads. The hostile air lightened. Finally, they came to notice our presence. Leah.
姫君
Princess? What's going on between you two, huh? What kind of relationship do you have? I knew they had a tendency to bicker, but I had believed it to be a result of their similarities and that they got along fine. They didn't respond to my question, or perhaps it was more accurate to say that they didn't know how to respond.
今は頭を冷やさせておけ一度外に出るぞ
Just go cool your heads off for now. Let's head back outside, Leah. As she spoke, Spinel held me by the shoulders and began to lead me out of the house.
私たちが戻ってくる前に散らかした室内を片付けておけ双子もどきども
You two wannabe twins better have this mess cleaned up by the time we get back. Spinel, I had some lingering doubts about leaving the two of them alone again.
また喧嘩するならそれはそれでいいお前さえ巻き込まなければな
If they want to keep fighting, so be it, just as long as they don't drag you into it. She kindly urged me outside where we were suddenly surrounded by the night sky once again. When Spinel said we would be outside, I believed we would simply be having a discussion out in the yard. However, she took me to a bar. Oh my god. I was wrong. I mean, you can't date her, so this is just rude. This is the first time I've been up on the roof.
いい眺めだろ気分を変えたいときは高い場所が一番だ
Not too shabby, right? High places work best when you're looking for a change of pace. Is this who I'm dating now? Is there a Spinel ending? Oh my god. Changing the viewpoint by several meters changed the familiar scenery drastically. Like, she's got like gold earrings and a scar on her inner thigh. And these little sheen gloves. Like, who is this woman? Oh, and she's got her little glowing red brooch. When I looked down, I saw the proud Lycoris field along the road leading to town, dancing in the wind. When I looked up, I was met with the astonishing beautiful stars that shone so bright that my jaw dropped. How lovely. The sky resembled a sea of jewels, The sky resembling a sea of jewels almost made me forget that we were in a country cursed by death. Do you stargaze often, Spinel?
ああ傭兵として生きていると昨日まで隣にいた相手が戦死するなんてザラでな
Sure do. When you're a mercenary, it's normal for your comrades you fought alongside with one day to die in battle the
最
next.
初にそれを思い知った時から私は
And ever since I
自
realized
分が
that,
変わらないことがありえない世界で生きていると考えるようになった
I began to feel that I had been living in a world where change is a given. Dying in battle. Battle between countries, battles between people, all of it, with human lives on the line. As someone who has never experienced war, I could hardly imagine the scale of
そん
conflict.
な人生の中で唯一変わらなかったのが空に浮かぶ星々の輝き。
And when you live a life like that, the one thing that remains unchanging are the glittering stars in the sky.
だから私はこうして時折夜空を見上げ、変わってしまった過去に思いを馳せながら酒を飲む。
That's why sometimes I look at the sky with a drink in hand and reminisce about the past and everything that's changed. The changing world and the unchanging stars. I turned the words over in my mind. They certainly don't apply to someone like me who only saw herself as a victim and maintained such a depressed demeanor. Oh gosh. Ugh. Spinel saw my expression
そ
and
れはアン
laughed.
クやアドルフ、そしてお前も同じだろ。
I think that applies to Ankou Adolf and you too. Me too.
私は以前のお前をよく知らないからあくまで勘だが、
I don't know much about what you were like before, so this is just a
話に聞い
hunch.
ていた時よりもお前は明るい少女になってるよ。
You've become a much brighter girl from the stories I'm hearing of the past.
少なくとも私の前で死神を自称し自虐的になったことは一度もない。
This just sound like Urza from Fairy Tale. Who is this voice actress, actually? Can I find this out? Behind the voice actor. Nope, that's the wrong, but I went to the wrong place. If everything lags, I'm sorry. Virche. Will it have it? Will it have it? No. I don't hear Urza from the attitude. But the attitude is definitely Urza. Maybe that's it then. Voice actor Kondao Yui. Okay. Let's see. She's in a Harvest Moon. She wins. Let's see. I'm looking for things I've watched specifically. Tower of God. Atelier Ryza, so she does voices. Oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Mira Shou-chan and Disgaea 7. Higan. I haven't played that, but I own it. Lost Judgment, Shisayaka Nizo Zono. Life is Strange. Busta Fellows. She's the voice of Tuda. Another Atelier Ryza. Monster Hunter Rise. She's Miniala. She's Llama Llama and Llama Llama. That's good. All Out. This is definitely not her full thing. She does more Atelier. She's an Atelier Sophie. My goodness. The main character in Busta Fellows. Yep, that's her. The pretty blonde girl. Interesting. Card Fight, Vanguard G, Rin. I don't know most of these. I believe Busta Fellows had an anime, didn't it? Or I don't know. It shows her face. It says game. But maybe you had the choice not to have the voice on. Some people did that a lot when it's a Tome. Oh, there's Ken as Limbo. Ken. Someday I'll play a game with you in it again. But that's what I'm seeing. But yeah, the attitude. I guess it's the attitude that's made me think of her. I can picture her anywhere. At the very least, you never refer to yourself as death or become all self-deprecating with me. Aww.
それもまた立派な変化と言えるんじゃないか。
Wouldn't you consider that a pretty impressive change? Oh, now that you mention it, I had been so busy every day that I didn't even have a spare moment to blame myself for the past wrongdoings.
そして変わったからこそ
And because you've changed.
あの二人はお前の未来と意志にかつてないほどの期待を抱いてしまう。
Ankou and Adolph's expectations for your future at an all-time high.
妙に不安定で衝突しがちなのはお前が未来を決めかねている影響もあるんじゃないか？
Doesn't it seem like their being on edge and ready to fight has something to do with how uncertain your future is? Well, I couldn't deny that. I had been making the two people who wished for me to live wait for far too long. It was strange of me to speak of myself this way, but my existence was one that had been full of uncertainty. And because of that, they must want me to say with full confidence that I wanted to live. If this fact was what was contributing to their impatience and irritations, then I'm clearly involved in this too.
生きるか死ぬかそれを選択することは容易じゃないだろうが
Life or death, if you have to make that choice, it's not going to be an easy one.
あの二人のためにもそろそろ決めていいんじゃないか？
Don't you think it's about time to pick one for their sake too?
答えが見えていないわけじゃないんだろ？
It's not like you don't have the answer to that, right? She was much too sharp. In terms of what I wanted to do rather than what I should do, I had decided that a long time ago, but for someone like me who has killed so many people as death, it's just too late for me to be saved and become a normal person.
何かと思えばお前そんなことで悩んでいたのか？
Just when I was wondering what was going on in that head of yours, that's what you're worried about?
数人十数人殺して死神と呼ばれるのなら
If you're death for killing several or even dozens of people,
戦場で100人以上殺した私は悪魔か魔王か？
then I must be the devil for the hundreds I killed on the battlefield. Ah, yes. Are you sure this isn't her route? I'll accept it if it is. Just tell me though. Can I date Spinel? I would take her. Look at this woman. She's got battle scars. Like, she wears those gloves. Those are like the hottest gloves a person can wear. I'm pretty sure. I'd date her. I just wanted Ankou. She laughed heartily, holding a hand over her
っていう
stomach.
かなんだ普通の人間って
Besides, what do you mean by a normal
まさかと
person?
は思うが外の人間は全員善人とでも思ってるんじゃないだろうな
Don't tell me you believe everyone outside of this country is some kind of saint. Well, I knew that was somewhat idealistic of me. At the very least, I assumed that they cherish their lives, which they can only experience once, as well as their emotions.
確かにそれが大多数だろうだが外の人間にだって救えないクズは大勢いるぞ
I'm sure that might be the majority of them. But there is also plenty of irredeemable scum among them too.
女に乱暴した挙句に殺す者子供を金目当てに売り飛ばす者利益のために他国に戦争を仕掛ける者
Those who violate women and kill them, those who sell children for money, and those who declare war with other countries for profit. Hydrate! Blue, hello! Hi! Blue, did you play Bustafellows?
数え出せばキリがない普通にあまり夢を見すぎるな
That's not even half of it. You're putting the concept of normal on too high a pedestal. Bustafellows? Yeah, did you play it? As I reeled in astonishment from the truth, Spinel caught her breath before continuing.
現に私も
The
金を
first
もらえ
one,
ば戦場でいくらで
yeah.
も人を殺す悪人だしな
Do you remember the MC having a voice? Because this is the voice actress for the main MC of Bustafellows. She said with a hiccup. Oh gosh. This is her. This is her voice. Is it the same? Did she talk like this or did she like change her voice? So different? Nice. That's always, it's hard. Like Ken has his like cutesy voice and then Ken has his manly voice and I'm like, which one are we getting today, guys? The fact that I'm a bad person, the fact is I'm a bad person too. I kill people on the battlefield in exchange for money. But you're not a bad person. You're a kind person who helps us so many times. She's over here going like, yeah, sure, you can commit mistakes and learn and grow, but I can't.
そりゃ感情だって常に変化していくものなんだから。
Well, human emotions change constantly.
悪人がひいきや気まぐれでいいことをすることはある。
Even
人
bad
間とは
people
そういう生き物だ。
can be nice when it serves them or just because they feel like it. That's just how humans are. In that case, what I had pictured all this time when I thought of normal people was false all
そう
along.
だな。お前の語る普通の人間はいわば理想の体現ってやつだろう。
I'd say those normal people you speak of are embodiments of your ideals.
そうありたいと願い、大切なものにそうあってほしいと願う。
You wish of them to be real and hope for the people dear to you to eventually be that way.
手を伸ばさずにはいられない。叶えられる手段を得たことで、夢から変化した星の瞬き。
I can hear the way she likes connotations of some of her words. I did not write that. I get it. I understand what you mean. I was looking her up because I thought she sounded a little bit like Etzra from Fairy Tale. 'Twas not the same voice actress. But then I saw the Busta Fellows and I was like, hey. And she's in a lot of Atelier, not Rise. She's in Atelier Ryza and Atelier Sophie. So she does video games. My sleeve. Do you mind? You reach for them like they're shining stars born out of dreams, as if there's a way to actually achieve them. Ideals. The way the truth behind the idea of normalcy I had conjured up in my mind. I had never thought about it that way. I worked my hardest so that the people most precious to me could become normal people. I put so much energy into praying and trying to make that a reality that there ended up being no real substance behind my actions.
とりあえず想像してみろ。
Why not try a thinking exercise? All right, Spinel, let's do it. All right.
お前の理想の中には
What do you
何があ
see
る？
in your ideal future? Well, Spinel, I keep saying if I win the lottery, like, hear me out. If I won the lottery, did the cash value. Right now, I think it's at $70 million. I could buy a house, at the very least. A house. Like, keeping it realistic here in our modern times. And maybe a car. And maybe I wouldn't have to work for a couple years. Just maybe. If I make some good investments, hard to say again in our modern society. But like just that. I just like a year off of work and winning the lottery. If it was $70 million cash, that is, I think I could get away with not working for at least 1 year. Because we have to talk about taxes. All right, taxes usually 40%. If they took 40% of my $70 million, a house at minimum. That's it. That's right, at minimum. And I'm a realistic person, you know. I'm not like wanting a giant house. I just want enough rooms to have a game room, a living room, a room for all the dolls to live in. You know, like 6 bedrooms. It's a lot, but if I had, $170 million, that'd be enough. For 6 bedrooms. Plus, I'm fine with converting the basement into the game room. Like, I'm cool with that. Or like the horror theater room, you know what I'm saying? I want every room in my house to give a different vibe and confuse people. That's all I really want. I just don't have enough rooms to do it. But yeah, that's my ideal future. If we're talking more realistic ideal future, you know, just doing fine would be good. I would like to continue to do fine and make enough money to save up to go on vacation once a year. It's really what I want. And eventually have a house. I don't know if I can do both. I can either take vacations or own a home. I feel like that's my choices these days. And honestly, I'll choose excursions. I need a break. All right, let's see what our actual character
毎
says.
日続く当たり前の普通に、お前は誰にいてほしいと願う？
Ah, who do you want there with you in your idea of a normal and mundane life? Oh, see, she went with mundane. I didn't want mundane. I'm not Belle. This isn't Beauty and the Beast. But I mean, it'd still just be like me and my sister. Modern, more 2D men. That's so true. If I won the lottery, guys, we could produce our own Otome games the way we want. At least one. At least one. Who's she gonna see? When I opened my eyes, I felt a gust of wind. It brought Lycoris petals all the way to where we sat on the roof and disappeared into the shining seas of stars. How beautiful. It was that second time I had said so that night. And that's when she's like, I realized I want to be with Spinel. That's the meaning behind it. This time was completely different. Being normal is an ideal I find myself helplessly reaching towards. I'd finance localizing the games we want that haven't been picked up. Oh, you're right. Wait, that's perfect. I don't need to make the games. I can just buy the rights to release them in the US and we can make our own like little game name. Like Otomo, you didn't, like that. Like, hear me out. Like, something like that. Something better than that. Oh my gosh. Then we just need like translators and a cute logo. We could do this. If that was truly the case, oh my god, I could finally play Reigns de la Fleur. I could do it. I could play it because I would translate it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm easily distracted. Thank you, Blue. That was exactly what I needed to think about. You're so right. If that was truly the case, who would I want beside me gazing up at these beautiful stars? Apart from not wanting to live as death, there were people I wanted to be with in the fantasy of normalcy I created. The one who came to mind is it going to be both of them? My precious family. Spinel, because she's cool. My new friends, that's close enough. And Ankou, right? Say it louder. The person who smiled from the bottom of his heart at the fact that I would keep living. Good God, he continues to be just so good. Like, look at this man. I mean, this hand. Imagine this game was actually about this. Anyways, let's continue on with whatever this is. Even if it were just because it was a step towards fulfilling the terms of our contract, I don't want to make his smile fade. I wanted to hold his hand again and enjoy the sweeping view of the Lycorises and the night sky together. That's the moment she remembers when she thinks of him kinky. Listen, he also rubs blood on her face, so like we're just gonna skirt over that. You wanna know why she thinks of that? Because we haven't had a new CG in this route with him. Look at this CG. This is our new CG. That's not our boy. That's a beautiful woman. God. That's sad. Isn't it sad? I want to cry. Also, it's doing the same thing the last Virche did, where it's basically rehashing the entire story. So I'm skipping a bunch of this as well, because we're just getting the same exact dialogue. And you know my opinion on repeating the dialogue, I don't want to read it again. I already did this. We were here already. In that moment I felt this way, I felt that the gorgeous sky began to shine even more brilliantly than before. At the same time, I heard the sound of quiet footsteps. Are the guys coming on the roof with us? Wondering who it was, I looked down to see Ankou. At some point, Ankou had came outside and was leaning against the outer wall of the house right below us.
掃除は終わったみたいだな。なら、大事なお姫様を返すとしよう。
Looks like they're all done cleaning. I'll dutifully return the princess now. Huh? Oh my god, did she cradle hold me? Wait! That's the CG I want. Before I realized what was happening, Spinel held me in her arms and jumped down into the yard. She just superhero jumped with us in her arm. Why aren't we dating her yet? Dear princess. Ankou, no, hang on. No, you can't do this to me. Did he overhear our conversation? If so, then that makes things a little awkward. As I hoped for Spinel to stay outside with us for a tiny bit longer.
ではな、私は中でアドルフと酒でも飲んでから帰る。
Anyway, I'm gonna go have a drink or two with Adolf inside before I head back. Whether intentional or not, she left us to go inside the house, contrary to my wishes. Hime-sama should be the should be the name. Someone played Zelda and made the name My Dude for a link. And so everyone are like, ah, it's great to see you, my dude. And I'm just like, oh my god. Hime-sama. But then everyone would call her Hime-sama and it wouldn't be the same. It's only special when he says it. The only two left underneath the stars were Ankou and myself. Let's just awkwardly stand here, guys. Also, apparently this has 6 chapters, at least. And we're on chapter 4. And I wanted to be done by this weekend. And I got invited to go watch a movie on Wednesday, so I won't be streaming Wednesday. I might stream a little bit tomorrow to try and continue this, but like, oh my gosh. This is it. This is the whole game. I grew flustered, having no clue as to what I should say to him. Just a few seconds ago, I had a mountain of things I wanted to share with him. Princess? Yes. I gave a start when he addressed me again, but before I could bring it up, he began to go straight into the heart of the matter.
正直に言えば、私は君の機嫌を損ねた理由を未だに理解していない。
With all due honesty, I've never read a sentence like that. What? I'm still at a loss as to how I have upset you so.
なぜなら、自分が間違ったことを言っているとは思っていないからだ。
Sonic had 99-cent corn dogs today. Can you tell I went? You can do it. You can get through this game. I don't know. This is our 20th play. This is our 20th VOD. And some of those were like 8-hour streams. Some of them were 2, granted. But some of them were like closer to 8. Like, oh my god. Gambatte. Thank you, Bass. The reason is that I do not think what I told you at the time was wrong.
私はあくまで導き手。君を守る英雄にはなり得ない。
I am but a mere guiding figure. I cannot become a hero that can protect you. I didn't think it was this long. Yeah, it's also my fault because, like I said, I wasn't streaming too much for like 3 months, so. Whew. Also, didn't we have like 2 games back to back? I was playing 2 at the same time for a little bit there. He said things that made me very
だが
sad.
君は
Correct him.
その回答が気に召さないのだろう。
We need to finish so we can get to PO40. I've been waiting for months. I plan to, I think it's going to be Sunday. I'm going to have an all-day stream for PO40. I'm going to do it regardless if I finish this, honestly. I'm kind of ready. Saturday we have plans to go shopping, and I might stream a little bit then, but I want to do like an 8-hour PO40 stream at least, because my goal is to get through the prologue in the first stream. So it's probably going to be Sunday. I will post on Discord what's happening there. How long ago? I made thumbnails for PO40. I feel like a month and a half ago because I was so convinced we were going to be done with this sooner. Oof. You are not happy with that answer, are you? She's like, I'm not, guy. Look at you. Look at you. You're going to tell me I can't be with you because you're a guide? What does that even mean? This was so terribly sad. The words Ankou strung together were all so sad.
本当に君はよく笑い、よく怒るようになった。
I mean, look at this kitty cat face he's making. Like, I'm not supposed to fall in love with this? And that voice? You've truly come to express your happiness and anger far more often.
認めるのは尺だが、あの男の言う通り、私は君が生んだ新たな感情から逃げ続けていたのだろう。
It pains me to say this, but just as that irritable man says, I have been running away from you and your new emotions.
その感情を持ち得なかった君を忘れることが恐ろしくて。
I was afraid of forgetting the version of you from when you were not as expressive. A thought occurred to me upon hearing his voice so full of nostalgia. Maybe I just don't remember this, but have we met before in the past?
当たらずとも遠からずだ。私は君を知っているが、君が私を知らないのは間違いない。
Very close, but not quite. I have known you, but you do not know me. That much is certain. That sounds like a riddle. It didn't seem like he had any intention of elaborating, so he didn't continue after that. If so, then, Ankou, can I ask you to tell me one thing? Entering into this contract with me, is it truly because of your duties as a watchman?
それは疑念かな。
Do you perhaps doubt my intentions? I would love to cast doubt. I just want to confirm with you. In order for me to arrive to the answer you've been awaiting for so long, I need you to be completely open and honest with me. Ankou seemed to hesitate for a brief moment upon hearing my
そ
question.
の通り。私が君に契約を持ちかけたのは、あくまで自分の都合のため。
It's just as you say, I entered this contract with you purely for my own self-interest.
と言ったところで、もう信じてくれないのだろうね。
Though having said that, I wonder if you will believe it. I overheard a bit while you and Adolphe were arguing earlier. After seeing how emotional he had gotten, everything being a part of his duty no longer sufficed as a reason. Even so, I'd like for you to tell me the true reason why you stopped me from killing myself that day.
やれやれ。参った。そこまで暴かれては仕方ない。これ以上隠すのは野暮というものだ。
Well, I have no words. If that... First off, hang on. This is an emotional moment, I'm sure of it. I guess. He met the Wanderer, the Drifter, whatever you want to call him. And he told that guy his entire story. But he can't tell her the story? I don't get it. That guy literally made his entire family grow flowers to save this girl. And he can't use his words, get jumbled up. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. I have no words. If that much has been revealed, then I am left with no choice. It would be insensitive to keep it hidden. Ankou gently placed his hand on his chest.
姫君。私は。
Dear princess, the truth is, and it's like, it's gonna be redacted.
本当は死者の管理なんてどうでもいい。
It would have been funnier. Just the sound. I simply could not care less about my duties as a watchman. The stars twinkled in the sky behind him.
ただ君に
My only wish
死なないで欲しかった。
was for you not to die.
生きて幸せになって欲しかったんだ。
For you to live and find happiness. How about we be a little more truthful, okay? Ankou professed his professed with an expression that was absolutely heart-rendering. I see. I thought it might have been something like that. I struggled to hold back my tears of joy. Thank you. With that, I have my answer. I took a deep breath and raised my head to meet his gaze. Not very much, though, right? And with a flurry of emotions welling up in my chest, I made my declaration. I want to live. Not only to protect those dear to me, but also because I want you to be there as part of the ordinary life I'll achieve in the future. I was somewhat proud of myself for being able to voice my feelings. I will work hard to achieve that goal. So please promise me that you will lend me your strength for the same purpose. The sins I committed would never disappear. I would almost certainly be judged in Hades for them. Back to I don't believe you should be judged in Hades for accidentally having broken chromosomes, but alright. Until that moment came, I would like to gaze at the Lycoris field underneath the glistening night sky with you. That was the ideal normal life I wished for.
驚いたな。最も欲しかった言葉を
What a
こん
pleasant
な
surprise.
形で聞くことになるとは。
I did not expect to hear the words I so longed for in this
終わ
manner.
りの見えない遠い旅に出た時は想像すらしていなかった。
When I embarked on this journey, the end of which I could not foresee, I could not have imagined this. That pose. Oh, yeah. Listen, this man does things to me. I has to be ooey gooey for him. Like, listen. The blushing behind a sleeve, like, this is just the best. I love it so much. This is the best. Like, oh, like, look at that. As he expressed his shock, Ankou's peaceful smile showed no sign of
なら
faltering.
ば死の番人。いや、ただのアンクーとして
Then as the watchman of death, no, as simply Ankou, no, as simply a Delph.
君が持ちかけた契約に私もまた応じよう。
Allow me to respond to the contract you proposed. Ankou lowered the hand that was on his chest. Fucking finally. I've worked really
今
hard
の
for
言
this.
葉をもって
I've worked so hard
契
for
約は
this.
正式に結ばれた。
He's beautiful. It's been hours. Oh, he cute. He cute. He's so cute. Look, we're doing a pinky promise. And he's got these gorgeous nails. Oh my god. My nails, my nails are shameful right now. Actually, my nails look like her nails. They're just normal. I hereby accept your terms, and now our contract has been formally put into place. Like, he's blushing ever so slightly. He painted nails.
これから私
It's a
と君
dye, if I
は
recall.
運命共同体。
Ugh.
この先いかなる苦難が待ち受けようと寄り添い続けると誓う。
From now on, you and I share a common destiny. No matter what hardships await, I vow to stay by your side. Look at these eyelashes. Look at this man. Like, gosh. I want his earrings. Well, guess what? Spinel gets them first. So, back off. You're gonna have to fight Spinel for them. As he made his vow, he gently intertwined his pinky finger with mine. What's this?
とある場所に伝わる儀式のようなものさ。
This is a ritual of sorts that has been passed down in a different land.
約束を必ず守ることを互いの小指を絡ませ
See, you do it different ways though, right? So there's just the standard pinky, but there's the pinky plus pressing your thumbs together. Like you do it twice, kinda. Plan A, seduce Spinel and she gifts them to me. That's a choice. And I don't know if it'll work. But if it does, hot dog. Like, she's gorgeous. Congratulations. You vow to fulfill your promise as you intertwine your pinky
私の古
fingers.
い友人が教えてくれたものだよ。
An old friend taught me. What a cute ritual. But it was very fitting for Ankou. I also vowed to you, Ankou, that I will carry out the terms of the contract and fulfill your wish for me to live. So even if my soul successfully becomes human, it doesn't have to be often, but could you please promise to visit me? If you do, I think it would help motivate me to do my best to live.
死にまみれた冥界の住人に会いたがるとは、姫君も物好きだね。
Imagine if they had given him like a second CG right here where he like slightly smiles and he has like his I could be so excited. I could be so excited. I'm happy I have a CG. Hear me out. This has been hours. 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 You certainly have strange taste to wish to see such a resident of the death-filled Hades.
だが、そこまで求められては応じないわけにはいかないな。
However, I can't simply ignore such an earnest request.
私の大切な姫君。
My precious princess.
どうか願いを叶え、普通の人生を送る姿を
Please
私
fulfill my
に見
wish
せておくれ。
and allow me to see you live as a normal girl. Like this man's voice is so good. I will. I dreamed for Ankou to be there with me and the normal future I pictured. I squeezed my intertwined pinky, not wanting to let go. And then I died. What happened?
なんというか、お前もそんな性格だな。
You know, it's like you're trying to put yourself at a disadvantage.
俺はただあいつの意志を優先してるだけだ。
I'm just prioritizing what Leah wants first and foremost.
今まで散々我慢させてきたからな。このぐらいの贖罪はしねえと。
I made her wait too long. It's the least I can do to atone. Technically, you made her wait like 1,000 years when you think about it.
おい、やめろ。頭を撫でるな。
Stop
子
patting
供
my
扱いす
head.
るんじゃねえよ。
Don't treat me like some kid.
照れるな照れる
No need to get all shy
な。
now.
まったく。アンクーといい。お前らは揃って
You and
似た
Ankou
者同士だよ。
really are birds of a feather. Say it. Say you know his secret. Do it. Do it, Spinel. I know you know Spinel. What are these dot, dot, dot? Is this going to be Dahat now? Angry? Dahat's like, I didn't get the DNA I needed. Oh, it's Nadia. Oh, it's my sweet angel baby. Oh no.
ナディア。
ナディア君。
Nadia?
兄様先生急になんだか
Brother.
おかしいの
Doctor. I'm not feeling well all of a sudden. That's not good.
いつもより息ができない苦しい
Can't seem to breathe more so than usual. It hurts.
カプシーヌ先生。
Dr. Capuchin.
これはまずい。すぐに緊急処置の準備を。
I forgot I turned his voice and I'm like, why is he so quiet? Because I didn't want to listen to him anymore. Doesn't look good. We need to deal with this immediately. Yes, sir. Aye, sir. Say Dahate.
ナディア、しっかり。
Nadia, hold on.
兄様はここにいますから。あなたと一緒にまだ生きています。
With your broken arm. I'm right here. I'm still living and breathing just like
だから
you.
どうか私を置いていかないで。
So please don't leave me.
リュカ君、落ち着いて聞きなさい。この発作から察するに、ナディア君の病状は最悪の状況まで来ている。
Lucas, stay calm and listen to me. Based on this particular episode of hers, it seems her condition is at its
お
worst.
そらくこの1週間が峠だろう。
This coming week will be critical for her.
最悪の事態も考えておかなければならない。
You'll have to be prepared for the worst case scenario.
そんな
No.
あ
Oh wow,
Camillo.
he lost his legs.
この子が一体何をしたというのです
God, please, what has this child done to deserve
連れて
this?
行くなら
She was
ど
born
う
in
か
this
私を
world.
この子にはまだたくさんのことをこの世界で得てほしい
If you must take someone, take me in her place. There's still so much I wish for her to experience in this world. Where are the ads when I need them? Oh, you didn't notice? Yesterday someone gifted a sub and you got it. Congratulations, you don't have ads for a month now.
お願いします
I beg of you.
まさか計画を実行する前にナディアが限界を迎えるとは
I didn't think she would be at her limit before we were able to carry out the
も
plan.
う花嫁としてしまうかだがダミーのリライバーを作ってもリュカには気づかれてしまう
It was an anonymous gifted sub yesterday. I think you were AFK at the time. Yeah. Shall I just make her my bride? But even if I were to make a reliver clone, Lucas would be sure to notice.
まだ人並み以上に動けるこいつを相手にだけはしたくない
I don't want to deal with this brute and his physical capabilities.
どうにかならないものかこのままこの子を失うのは私にとって最大の損
There
失だ
must be something I can do. Losing her like this would be highly detrimental to my interest. Call up Dahat and tell Dahat, and Dahat will come and save her. He loves her. I crashed out of sneezing nonstop. Thankfully, it's just allergies. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have started taking allergy pills because I'm convinced I just have them 24/7. That or something else. I don't know. Like, I feel like I have like a runny nose 3 times out of a week. You know what I mean? Like 3 days out of a week, I feel like my nose is running and I'm just like, I feel disgusting and gross. So I started trying allergy medicines. This is recent to see if it helps. Thank you, anonymous gifter, if you're still around.
ナディア
Pollen season.
そんな
Yes and no. Arizona doesn't have it the same way other places have. We don't have a lot of plants that survive that can cause too much pollen. I could be wrong, but like we have palm trees, which are year round, they never go out of season. And we have some other things. Arizona has cotton. How close to me? I will Google that later. Where's the closest cotton? I can't believe it, Nadia.
お兄さんを救う前になんてそんなの呪いを解いたって
Dahat has
意味がないじゃないで
feelings.
すか
Before I could save your brother, even if I do undo the curse, what's the point?
君が生きていてくれなければ
You have to live. Gilbert Creek, Arizona. Okay, well, Gilbert's actually not too far. You know, wind does carry things. All right, you're right. Okay, fair enough. I'll go and... Nah, I won't make that joke. I'm good and chilling and then be suffocating in pollen for like an hour. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the last time it got really bad, but like, I'm just like, I don't want to be gross. I was like joking that I need to keep a handkerchief with me. Like, I need to have like a little embroidered handkerchief because my nose is running. And I'm like, or I could take allergy medicine or do both. I might still need both. Who knows? Go on, Dahat. You kidnap that girl. You do it. Don't put her in a cage, though. This is the game that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Someone started writing it, not knowing where to end, and they just kept on writing and copy pasting all the previous story just because this is the game that never ends. He was at God's command. He was at God's command. Slaughter the demons and offer their blood to the heavens. Are we Lucas? What chapter are we on now? We're on 5. 1, 2, 5. Just in case you have an ad. I don't know if you do. Actually, you have a little... Oh, you have Prime on. Oh, Skinny. Okay, you're good. 5 out of 8? Wait, did you verify it's 8? Is it 8? Please. I saw 6. Oh no. Oh, you scared me. Ribbon, don't scare me. There could be 8. I don't know. How many was in Da Salut? Like 12? I can't remember. Sweet mother. Only when you do so will the girl be saved. Oh gosh. I thought you said 8. I said 6. I was like, Ribbon Googled it and saw something I didn't see, and now I'm gonna cry. Over here, there are more bodies, and their chests are clawed out. The royal guard grimaced upon witnessing the bodies strewn about the alley belonging to men and women alike. However, they weren't reaching towards the ghastly scene, reacting to the ghastly scene before them, but rather...
全くこうも毎晩だと回収にも苦労するな。
I can't believe it. This happens every night, and we have to collect these bodies each time. It's a real pain. Like, oh my god.
なぜ王家の血を引く我々が汚らわしいムクロなどに触れなければならないのか。
Why do we who carries royal blood have to touch these disgusting corpses? It's gross. I assume that's how they sound. They express their dissatisfaction with their duties. Despite their complaints, the guards quickly retrieved the bodies and loaded them onto their wagon. As they attempted to leave before the Institute's security forces arrived, ominous footsteps approached. It's Barreau. What appeared before them was a dark shadow armed with a halberd. What? They drew their swords despite their shock and readied them towards their opponent who had killed many of their fellow soldiers. I'm just being over the top right now, sorry guys. But despite their numbers, God, the strength of a regular human was reduced to nothing when faced with the abilities that far surpassed that of a normal person. That's because Lucas is a god, honestly. Pieces of flesh and blood belonging to the guards scattered about the alley one by one, coating the ground red. Only one soldier who happened to stand one step behind his comrades remained. Please spare me. I haven't done a backup yet. Well, he doesn't care about that. I'll do anything. I'll grant you anything you wish, whether it be money or anything else. Upon hearing the man's plea, Barreau responded with, That's right, should have done your backup. That's right, guys. That's why you saved your games. You don't want to lose your progress. That's what backups are. Except this is IRL in this world, and that would be your life. I'm gonna gamble with your life like that. You would not be able to grant my wish. He mercifully crushed the soldier's body with his halberd. I love his thinking pose. Barreau lowered his blade, walked to the corpse, and struck his hand through the chest without hesitation to pull out the heart. And at that moment, he pulled down the hood of his cloak. Oh my god, it's Lucas! Guys, did you know it was Lucas? Oh my god. And revealed his beautiful long blonde hair. He looked up towards the sky full of twinkling stars with the heart still in his hand. God is the only one who can help her. So pretty, I know, right? Shame. It's a real shame. He offered up his heart as a prayer. But this time his prayer had nothing to do with the purification of the demons. God, please save that child. I would gladly offer my life in exchange, so please. At the very least, please let her live a long and normal life. I mean, if you kill everybody, her life will be about average, right? He put his bloodied hands together, and prayed earnestly for his sister's life and happiness as simply her brother. You lose me at the murder, but that's fine. It's a new day. How many bodies? There was commotion in Koen since earlier in the morning upon the discovery of new bodies. After discreetly visiting the scene of the crime, I returned home with Adolphe. To think both victims of the mysterious death and their bodies of the royal guard were both found.
2種類の遺体が揃うのは最初に発見した時以来だな。
This hasn't happened since the first time they were discovered. According to Ankou, they seem to have their own respective causes.
そうだな。
Yeah, I noticed that something was different when a certain person didn't cut into the conversation. Adolphe looked around the room.
アンクはどうした？朝から姿が見えないが。
By the way, where is Ankou? I haven't seen him all morning. I smiled as I responded. He needed to go back to Hades to rest since he stayed in the overworld for too long. He only left a short while ago. I was going to ask him whether I could disclose his identity to Hot, but he said he didn't have time.
相変わらず自分勝手なやつだ。だがまあ、そのうち戻ってくるだろう。
So he just does as he pleases. I'm sure he'll be back soon enough. I think so too. I do miss him, so I hope he returns soon. Gosh, I miss that man. Oh, Adolphe, do you miss Ankou? I wanted to thank you again. I was able to talk to
俺は何
him.
もしてねえよ。
Oops.
あいつが突っかかってきたから。
Thanks to
応
what
じ
you
たま
said
で
the
だ。
other day. I haven't done a thing. He started it first, so I just gave him a piece of my mind, that's all. Don't be like that. I've even worried Adolphe. Okay. You tried to end your life like a week ago. After expressing my determination to live with Ankou, I let Adolphe know as well. When I recalled the heartfelt relief on his face from that moment, I was overcome with guilt for worrying him over such a long period of time. Hear me out. I'm done playing the victim and declaring that I wish to die. I just realized we didn't have an introduction with like a voiceover this time for chapter 5. If I really wanted to live a normal life with Ankou and Adolphe, both of them, hey, I need to look forward. If we truly are living in a world where change is inevitable, I'll need to grow stronger.
相変わらず狭い小屋だな。邪魔するぞ。
This place is as small as ever. I'm coming in. Hi, Sheen. How are you? As if to interrupt my thoughts, the door suddenly swung open. There he is. There's the man. As a man clad in a white coat brazenly barged in. Huh? As I stood in a daze, unsure of what was going on.
お久しぶりです、アドルフさん。お邪魔します。
And it looks like 6 chapters total according to Google. Thank you. He's cute too. Yeah, Sheen's always great to see. He has amazing poses. Like this is his Supergirl pose, I assume. Long time no see, Adolphe. Please pardon the intrusion.
シアンさんからまたここでブローを捕まえる作戦を考えるとお聞きしたので。
I heard from Sheen that you would be coming up with a new plan to capture Barreau again.
改めてお邪魔させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。
I decided to tag along. I do hope we can work together again.
はあ。
Huh? A small young man appeared carrying a large stack of books. And bringing up the rear was I swear, if Jean pops in.
アドルフ、
Okay.
久しぶり。ヒューゴからいろいろ差し入れ預かってきたよ。
It's been a while, Adolphe. I've come bearing gifts from Hugo.
彼女が好きそうなお菓子もあるんだ。作戦会議の合間にみんなで食べよう。
There's a bunch of snacks. Leah might like them too. Let's share them while we're coming up with our strategy. Adolphe grabbed Eve by the back of the neck as one would a cat.
これはどういうことだ？ なんでまたこの厄介な奴らが俺の家に上がり込もうとしてる？
Going on here? Why are you all coming to my house again?
あ、いやほら、またクーネにブローが現れたでしょ。
Well, you see, Barreau appeared again, right?
今度こそ捕まえて身元を調べるって。またシアンさんがここを拠点に指定して。
So Sheen said would catch him for sure this time and find out who he is and made your house our base of
そ
operations.
こであっさり了承するな。俺の家はお前らのたまり場じゃねえんだぞ。
Don't just go along with that. My house isn't just some spot you guys can use to hang out. But Sheen, by Sheen, do you mean the famous Sheen Brophy? Oh my goodness. The man with an empty gaze fixed his eyes upon me as I came to the shocking realization.
お前が例の死神の娘か。聞いていた以上に神気臭いな。
You must be the famous maiden of death. You're even more depressing than they say.
だが、家事の腕だけはそれなりと聞いている。
But I did hear that you're good at doing things around the house. Says the man who can't even button up his shirt correctly. Okay. You're missing a button. It's ridiculous.
ブローを捕らえ、王族どもの企みを突き止めるためにも。
In order for us to capture Barreau and figure out the royal family schemes.
お前も駒として働いてもらうぞ。
I'll have you work as another pawn. Adolph went around making introductions. Apparently, everyone who had gathered had done so before to capture Barreau, along with Lucas, who was currently absent for some crazy reason. I still think he's cute, even if he can't button up right? He's a genius. I'll take him. You have to fight Asia. That's Asia's man. She's adamant. Apparently everyone who had gathered had done so before. Mathis wished to take revenge for his brother's murder, and Sheen was investigating the mysterious deaths. With the reappearance of Barreau, who escaped them that night, they took this opportunity to gather again, but the corpse actively have been restricted under the royal family's orders? Activities?
今じゃただの巡回にもこの衛兵の監視の目があるんだ。
The royal guards keeping their eyes on us even during our regular patrols.
一般人への締め付けもさらに強くなって。
They've been putting even more pressure on regular citizens as well.
もともと目をつけられていた僕たちも、イブさんたちの助けがなければ、シュディから出ることすらできませんでした。
They already have their eyes on us, so without the help of Eves and the others, we wouldn't have been able to leave Chadis at all. So does that mean this all applies to the missing prostitutes too?
はい。聞き込みをするのもダメだって。
We aren't allowed to ask around or try to get any sort of information.
一言。
Can I say something?
なんだ。
What?
今までもうすうす感じてはいたが、王族どもはバカの集まりか。
I've been wondering for a while, is the royal family a bunch of idiots?
そんな命令を発した時点で、自分たちが何かしら関与していると白状したようなものだろう。
The fact that they've issued a gag order is basically saying they're involved in all of this mess somehow.
そんなはっきり。
You're very blunt. He can't handle it.
全面的に同意する。例外である一人を除いて、あの愚かさはもはや遺伝だろうな。
Gosh, I do miss Sheen. This is also a serial killer kind of guy. I guess. I don't know. He did it for science. We gave him an excuse. I completely agree. Apart from one royal, their idiocracy is likely an inherited trait.
だが変死事件の調査を禁ずるということは、俺の動きを封じて機嫌を損ねるのも同義。
Prohibiting investigations into the deaths is the same as limiting my efforts, which has worsened my mood.
どれだけ連中がバカでもそんなリスクを自ら負うとは思えん。リライバー化の権利を奪われたらそれまでだからな。
I highly doubt they're stupid enough to get on my bad side. I can easily forbid them from becoming relivers.
それを承知の上で禁ずるのなら何かしらの狙いがあるんだろう。
But their orders still affect the population at large and point to an underlying motive. I was reminded of the Queen's diary, which contained details of the curse and her regret at not being able to fulfill her ambition. Sheen went on to say that the series of incidents were beneficial to the Garden Royal
変死事
family.
件の原因をリライバーの不具合と断じれば、俺に責任を押し付け糾弾することが可能となり、
They can use the suicides to pin blame on me by saying they died because of some bug in the reliver
ブ
manufacturer.
ローにシュディの有力な出資者を殺させれば、研究所の金回りも悪くできる。
They can use Barreau to kill the Institute's largest investors in Chadis to slow funding. That did seem to make sense considering what was written in the diaries I
王
read.
族が何かを企んでいるのなら、あんたは研究所に戻らない方が良さそうだな。
If the royal family's up to no good, you shouldn't go back to the Institute.
元よりある程度の成果を得るまで戻るつもりはない。
I have no plans to return until I achieve worthwhile results. So that's why you went to attempt to capture Barreau again, since he might be involved with these incidents?
はい。娼婦の失踪にも奴が関わっている可能性があるので。
There's a chance he has something to do with the disappearing prostitutes as well. I respectfully tell you, no, you're wrong.
真相がどうあれ、このまま彼の犯行を見過ごすわけにはいかないからね。
No matter what we find out, I just can't let him get away with all these crimes.
お前たちにも協力してもらうぞ。自警団の長に、死神の娘。
We require your help, corpse leader, and yours as well, maiden of death. You called me that earlier as well. Do you perhaps know about me and the rumors surrounding me?
うさんくさい噂がこちらまで届くのでな。それとお前の施設のシスターサロメとは腐れ縁だ。
Rumor of you have reached Cornavel, and I have a bitter acquaintance with that woman at your orphanage, Salome. I see. I wondered if the letters I delivered from Mother to the Institute were for
当
Sheen.
然、また逃げられないための策はあるんだろうな。
I'm trying to remember if this happened in the last one. I don't remember him going on a tyrant except for in his own route. So I can't tell if this is new or not. I don't know if I can skip yet. I presume you have a plan to prevent him from getting away.
愚問だな。当然用意している。ただ
That's a
し、
stupid question. Of course I do. There's just one thing.
ブローが一人ならどうにかなるが、偽物が数体いるとなると、さすがに分が悪い。
I believe we'll be fine if we're dealing with one Barreau. I can't make the same promise if there is more than that.
俺たちの前にも現れた異様に戦い慣れしている女。お前たちの差し金だろ？
As for the woman who is unusually adept with a blade, you got her involved last time, didn't you?
あの女も参加させろ。
Have her join us again. She's human, after all, as the song goes. Chapter 4 had no choices in it. Chapter 4 had no choices in it. Not a single choice was made. We could definitely use her help considering Barreau's strength and the number of relivers. I was gonna go with I don't want to use her, but at the same time, she is strong. If her identity as a drifter is revealed, she might be persecuted or even worse, become subject to experimentation. This was especially worrying considering how Sheen was a researcher to top it off. She only tagged along out of concern for my safety. I wasn't sure if it would be right to get her involved for the sole purpose of capturing Barreau, so I said we've just met her ourselves and I don't know her very well. We would need to get her consent before getting her
いい
involved.
だろう。だがあまり待たせるなよ。
That's fine, do it quickly. Understood. I felt a wash of relief after responding to him without sounding awkward or nervous. Based on the look Adolph gave me, I had made the right
俺
call.
は仮にも自警団のリーダーだ。その捕獲計画に協力はするつもりだが、
I am the leader of the corpse after all. I fully intend to cooperate, but...
成功した暁にはシアン・ブロフィアーズ、あんたからそれなりの報酬をもらいたい。
In the event that we do succeed, I'd like to request something in return from you, Shin Brofi.
なんだ
Let's hear it.
今回の作戦が終わったらこちらの事情、
Once the operation is over, I want to
この
know
国を覆う死神の呪いを解く方法について
what your
あんたの
opinion
見解を
is
聞き、
on how death's curse can be broken in this
可
country.
能なら協力してもらいたい。
We need your assistance in our efforts.
ほ
Oh! Everyone was startled to hear Adolf bring up the idea of lifting the curse that they had long accepted as part of their lives.
死神の呪い
Death's curse?
それって寿命の剣だよね。
You're talking about our longevity, right? Imagine this. You're in this room. And you have Eves, who is a descendant of the Drifter. You have Ankou, who is a second Drifter from like a bunch of years in the future that's been experimented on. You have Adolf, who is also a Drifter. And then you have Cirrus, who is cursed, honestly, because she was born in a field of flowers. And guess what? Ankou could have saved her by not having that happen. God.
ああ、俺たちはその呪いとこいつが死神と呼ばれるゆえんを完全に消すつもりで行動している。
We're working to get rid of the curse completely, in part so that people will stop calling her death. Until now, no one had even really discussed this idea with others before. Eves and Mathis exchanged surprised glances. Sheen remained calm without even twitching his eyebrow.
なるほど。ただの妄想を口にしているわけでもなさそうだ。
I see, then let me share with you this idle daydreaming.
何かしら解ける根拠があっての発言か？
Am I correct in assuming that you have some evidence to believe it's possible? Adolf and I calmly began to explain. We told everyone that we wanted to uncover the source of the curse, that there was a good chance that the royal family was involved, and that they may have assassinated the queen over it. We went on to explain how Dahat was offering us help, though we kept quiet about Ankou's existence. Then when Adolf was finished talking, Sheen broke into a grin.
いいだろう。俺も真っ向からのアプローチを諦めたわけではないからな。
Very well. I can't say I've given up on that idea myself.
ブローの捕獲が成功した暁にはいくらでもお前の話を聞いてやる。
I'll tell you everything I know once we're able to successfully capture Barreau. Sheen, the god who was born among mortals, hadn't forgotten his original objective to solve the mystery of the curse. As he smiled confidently, Eves and Mathis also willingly offered their help. Weep, 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 weep. A few minutes later, the butler Mathis mentioned earlier by the name of Gene came by to introduce himself. He's like, "Hello, I'm Gene. I am a murderer. I kill prostitutes for fun." Later that day at sunset, everyone was unpacking and making their preparations to live together under the same roof once more. My camera just twitched. That was crazy. I saw it. Says I'm fine. Meanwhile, I went to see Spinel and asked her for her thoughts on aiding us in our plan.
ブローの捕獲ね。軽く相対してみた感じ、私がいても戦力差は埋まらないと思うんだが。
Capturing Barreau, huh? From what I remember, I'm not sure if my being there would bridge the gap in strength by
お前
much.
が参加するというのなら、雇われの身として、ハセさんじないわけにはいかないな。
If you're playing a role in all of this, then I can't say no considering you're my employer and whatnot. She spoke between mouthfuls of the food provided by her workplace and added that she just wouldn't stay over at Adolph's with us. Is it really okay with you? Sheen, who's a scientist, will be there too, so if he were to discover your ability, your identity, Spinel agreed to help so easily that I was shocked and had to confirm with her again.
その時はその時だ。自慢じゃないが、逃げ足には自信があるぞ。
We'll get there when we get there. It's not exactly something I'm proud of, but I'm pretty good at running away from things. Thank you so much. Like your children? I don't know. I was sincerely thankful for her concern about my safety. I'd also like to share all this with Ankou, but it seems like he's returned to Hades.
あいつも何かと不便だね。ま、男どもの世話があるお前と違って、私は暇だからな。
Sounds like he's got it rough. Well, you are having your hands full taking care of the boys, but I'm pretty free.
時間があれば、アンクーを探しておく。伝言もその時に伝えればいいだろう。
I'll be sure to look for him whenever I have time. If I find him, I'll pass on the message. Thank you. I'll be constantly in your debt, especially after what happened the other day.
よせよせ、思い出させるな。あの時は我ながら、こっぱずかしい話をした。
Oh, stop. Don't make me remember that. We talked about some pretty embarrassing
ただ、
stuff.
私は必要以上に呪いの剣に深入りするつもりはないからな。
Just to let you know, though, I don't plan on getting involved in any cursed-related business more than I need to.
貸すのはあくまで武力だけ。それだけは覚えていてほしい。
All I will be offering is my ability to fight. Don't forget that, alright? Of course, you aren't involved in the country's affairs to begin with. I'll try not to cause you too much trouble.
迷惑云々の話ではないな。私は基本的に根なし草だから、国や人の事情には首を突っ込まない主義なんだ。
It's not a matter of causing trouble. I'm just a wanderer, so it's a rule of mine not to stick my head into things like that.
その地にとどまるつもりもないのに、ああだこうだと口出しするのも無責任だろ。
Besides, it'd be real irresponsible of me to give my opinion when I don't plan on staying, right? That's true. I would probably feel the same way if I were in your position. Spinel nodded, seemingly satisfied that I understood her point of view.
何よりこれは、お前とアンクーが始めた物語だ。
More than that, though, this is a story that you and Ankou put into motion
部
together.
外者である私が引っかき回すわけにはいかない。
A mere outsider like me shouldn't be meddling, you know?
いや、女実史とも言うかな。
I guess it's more like an epic. A story told through the ages of heroic deeds, mythology, or historical events of note. Ah, goodness. Spinel. Who are you? An epic?
お前たちのたどるそれが救済につながればいいとは、部外者である私も思っているよ。
Even I, an outsider, sincerely hope that the road you're on leads you to salvation. In response to the sentiments, I found myself reflecting on her words, as Spinel watched on with a kind smile. While it took on a slightly different form than originally planned, Ankou officially entered into the contract with Leah. The road to a normal life for her had been secured. Naturally, Ankou was elated. He hummed without a care in the world. However, he hadn't forgotten his duties. He stooped over and inspected the flowers of misfortune with the utmost care. We're going to get the CG of him eating them.
この辺りのリコリスは頃合いかな。
The Lycoris here should be at their
懸
peak.
命に咲き誇ったところを悪いが、これも君たちの本来の役目だ。失礼。
I'm truly sorry, but I will need all of you to fulfill your mission during this wonderful bloom. He began plucking the flowers by hand without any concern for the laws that prohibited it. The mist emitted from the broken stems was the curse that eroded the country and was invisible to the mortal eye. Should a normal person be in the vicinity, the cursed symptoms would immediately worsen, causing great suffering and death. But the symbol of death did not seem bothered by it. He continued to pluck the flowers one by one until they were a large bundle in his arms when... Hearing the rustle of flowers, Ankou quickly hid behind a nearby ruin.
ああ、やっぱりここにいたか。
I figured I'd find you here.
スピネル。
Spinel. She walked through the cursed field of flowers with no hesitation. Upon seeing that, Ankou thought to himself,
やはり、外の国の人間に呪いは効かないのだな。
It truly does appear that the curse has no effect on people from outside the country. Ankou was reminded of the fact once
いい
again.
場所だな。ここからだと海もよく見える。
It's a nice place. You get a nice view of the ocean from
当
here.
然だ。
Of course. This was the very place where they put their lives on the line for a promise.
それで何の用かな。こちらは冥界から戻ってきたばかりで、再度作った人の身を休めていたのだが。
So what business might you have? I've just returned from Hades and would like to rest this body I've had to create yet again.
彼女から事態が動いたという伝言だ。
Leah wanted to give you an update on the situation. Spinel reported to Ankou about the plans to capture Barreau without launching into any idle small talk.
なるほど。
I see.
彼女とシアン・ブロフィワーズの接触は避けたいが、私の個人的な感情で調査を停滞させるわけにはいかない。
I'd have liked to keep her away from Shin Borofi, but I can't allow my personal feelings to disrupt the
それ
investigation.
に、ブローを捉えることができれば、事態が一気に動き、を抑えることができる。
And if they succeed, the situation will change drastically and she can attain a blank, blank, and blank. A god power and protection? I don't know. As they could discern, as if they could discern Adolph's true identity or uncover the books in the royal family
わ
grave.
かった。作戦決行までには私も彼女たちに合流しよう。問題はブローとの戦力差か。
In books in the, I don't know, not Adolph, the Lycoris is understood. I shall join them until they execute their plans. Barreau's strength, however, is certainly
それば
worrisome.
かりはシアン様の作戦とやらを頼るほかない。
I think you'll just have to leave it up to Sheen's
不
plan.
服なことにね。残念ながら術が満足に使えない私は姫君の盾程度にしかなれないだろうが。
And I'll do so with great reluctance. Unfortunately, my skill is only good enough for me to act as her shield.
何を言ってる。私がいるだろ。
What are you saying? I'll be there too. Ankou stood there in bewilderment, unable to process what Spinel had
いや、
said.
お前今リコリスの花をたおったというのに死ななかっただろ。
Actually, just now you were totally plucking those flowers, but you're still standing, right?
ってことは私がアルペシエールに流れ着いたあの晩、
Which means on the night I drifted here to
きっかけと
Arpachel,
なったリコリスを海に流したのはお前じゃないか。
you must have been the one who tossed them in there in the first place, right?
あのリコリスには確かに誰かに倒られた跡があったからな。
Those Lycoris flowers have clearly been plucked by hand. The unexpected truth behind the event that night made Ankou widen his eyes in surprise. She had fell into the water during an attempt to pluck the flowers then.
まさかアンクーこそが本来は存在しない第三の漂流者が現れた原因。
Yep. Oh no. Could the existence of Ankou be the catalyst for the third drifter whose arrival was originally not supposed to occur? If that was the case, then the changes made complete sense. That aside, why did she ask? Spinel responded to Ankou's questioning gaze
当
right
たり
away.
みたいだな。だったらお前が無力ということにはなり得ない。
Looks like I was right. On the money, so if so, you couldn't possibly be powerless.
アンク、私はお前が自分自身の手で手繰り寄せた武力なんだ。
Ankou, I am the weapon that you reeled in with your own two hands. That was completely unexpected.
私が剣を持てなくなった代わりに。
Well, I'm no longer able to wield a blade, although you could if you tried. If you've been training this whole time, you could be so strong right now.
あいつを思い流したリコリスが手繰り寄せた武力。
The Lycoris I set adrift while thinking of Leah brought in a different weapon.
だから彼女を守りたいと願うなら 遠慮なく震え。
So if you wish to protect her, wield me as you
き
please.
っと私はそのためにこの国に流れ着いたんだ。
I think I might have drifted here for that very purpose. As he stood in a daze, with an emotion that couldn't be put into words, Spinel beamed as brightly as the stars in the night sky. Oh my goodness. Under Sheen's lead, we put our plan to lure Barreau into motion. Barreau had seen all of our faces during the events of the previous operation, except for hers. So we planned to spread rumors that we had uncovered his identity to get Barreau to target us. Couldn't get a hold of Lucas, though.
そうすれば嘘の情報と承知で襲撃してくる可能性が高いからな。その時こそ本当に正体を暴く。
A high possibility that he'll come after us from the false intel, and then when he does, we'll be able to uncover who
そ
he
れなら
is.
出かけるときは基本的に2人以上で行動した方が良さそうですね。
In that case, it might be a good idea to travel in pairs whenever we go
真
out.
昼にブローが動かないっていう保証はありませんから。
They say he's never active in broad daylight, but you never know.
僕もジャンに気をつけるように伝えておきます。
I'll be sure to let Jean know to be careful too.
お前も外出するときは必ず誰かしらに声をかけろ。
Leah, make sure that you ask someone to go out with you whenever you go out too.
今はお前のそばに常にいたアンクーもいないからな。
How dare you call this out? How dare you bring it to the light? Especially since Ankou, who's usually by your side, isn't there right now. Like, embarrassing for you. Understood. Take care when you're out at night on your paroles too, my guy. My dude. Eves and Adolph headed out for their out in their regular clothes so as not to attract the royal guard's attention during their investigation. Shane went into a different room to iron out details of the plan. The only ones left in the room were me and Mathis, who I don't want to talk to. So, oh goodness, what could I learn from Mathis that I haven't already learned? When I returned after counting the bed sheets that had been prepared for everyone to sleep over, I met with the sight of a furiously writing at the table. What are you writing, Mathis? He jumped when I called out to him and hurriedly hid the papers under his arms. I'm sorry, I must have scared you, you poor little
い
thing.
え、大丈夫です。
That's alright.
ちょっと恥ずかしかっただけで、アドルフさんの妹のあなたになら見られても平気ですから。
I was just a little embarrassed, that's all. You're more than welcome to take a look as Adolph's younger sister. I took him up on that offer and peeked at the desk. Is this writing paper?
はい。僕、小説を書くのが趣味で。
Yes. Writing novels is a hobby of mine. Trying to write is a hobby of mine.
せっかくだから空いた時間を利用して何か書こうかなと。
Since I had some free time, I figured I'd take advantage of writing something. Wow, that's a lovely hobby. I love books and reading stories, so I really admire your writing.
いえ、そんな。僕なんてまだまだ未熟です。
You're too kind. I'm very
でも、
inexperienced.
せっかくあなたたちが呪いがなくなったアルペシエルの可能性を示してくれたんだから。
Since you, Leah, and the others have shown me the possibility of an Arpachel where the curse is gone.
それを想像というか、こうなったらいいなっていう予想図を物語で書いてみたんです。
I've started to, how do I put this? I want to try writing a story with my hopes for what that might look like. Your hopes? With Mathis's permission, I read a portion of his writing. I skimmed through the pages and immersed myself into a version of the island without the curse where everyone, myself included, lived happily.
すみません。勝手に小説に登場させちゃって。
Sorry, I shouldn't have written you into the story like this.
筆が乗ってしまって。ご不快でしたよね。
That's so awkward. It's like my pen had a mind of its own. That must be so unpleasant for you. Oh no, it's nothing. It's just. I was surprised to see that I could be someone who could smile and laugh like that. I hope that I can someday become the Leah that appears in your novel.
なれますよ、きっと。小説みたいに。いえ、小説以上に。
In this context, this is like the second time we've met, so it doesn't match up, but alright. Cool. I'm sure you can. You'll be just like your character in my novel. No, even more than that.
他にもいろいろアルペシェールや皆さんの可能性を書いてみたんです。
I've tried writing about a lot of other different possible scenarios for everyone in our Pachel.
こっちはイブさんたち。こっちは恋人と結婚して幸せになるジ
This is
ャンの
about
姿。
Eves and the others. This one's
他に
about
もたくさん。
Gene and his lover happily getting married and a whole lot
ま
more.
だ書いている途中のものもありますが、時間があるときに読んでみてくれませんか？
There's a lot I'm still in the process of writing, so could you please read them when you have the time? Of course, I'd be happy to. I took him up on his offer, and Mathis showed me the future of this country that he had created within his novel. It seemed to be a collection of short stories with many different versions of Leah appearing throughout. I range from being brave and heroic to someone living a happy and normal life. I was presented with infinite possibilities as Leah. There are endless possibilities that are completely different from who I am now, yet seem within arm's reach. It hadn't even crossed my mind that I was someone with so much potential until that moment. I'll work hard to become these versions of Leah. His novel was nothing short of miraculous. The hypothetical renditions of me contained within naturally brought a smile to my face and ignited my desire to live. However, there was just one thing it was missing. Not this. Why aren't you in these books? There's one more person I'd like to have written into your story. Is that alright? Oh, Ankou?
はい、もちろんです。どんな方でしょう？
Yes, of course. What are they like? They're completely unaware of just how kind they are and very considerate of me, their partner. I'd really like to see what a normal life would look like for the Watchman of Death. I vowed to myself to work hard without having to rely upon anyone else, because I knew that no matter what future I chose, I would need him there with me. Soon after, we successfully spread rumors regarding Barreau's identity according to plan. For several days, we took turns taking night watch while being on our guard until... Dun, 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 dun. Everyone reacted simultaneously to the sound we heard outside. With all the preparations ahead put into place so that we were ready at any moment, everyone immediately went outside and stood face to face with a man who readied a giant halberd.
偽物は連れていないみたいだね。
Looks like he didn't bring any clothes.
油断するなよ。
Don't let your guard down. Eves nodded quietly. Perhaps he had figured out that this was a trap as he attempted to move somewhere where he would have the higher ground. Barreau ran away at an impressive speed.
シアンが予想した通りだな。追うぞ。
It's just as Sheen predicted. Let's go after him.
はい。車の用意できてま
Understood.
す。
The car is all ready. Oh god, we're gonna die.
またこいつの運転なのは心底不本意だが仕方ない。行くぞ。
It's extremely unfortunate that he's driving again, but we have no choice. Let's go.
事故が起きないのを祈るしかないですね。
All we can really do is pray that we don't get into an accident. Got it. Thanks to Mathis's driving, which was difficult to describe, we caught up with Barreau. To avoid what happened last time, we had Spinel take care of any potential hiding spots for the clones. With nowhere left to run, Barreau turned to face Yves and Adolphe. Sensing that there was no means to escape, Barreau readied his weapon and jumped towards the two men. Yeah. Adolphe and Yves utilized their synchronized teamwork to repel Barreau despite his immense strength. All I could do was watch the battle from a safe distance. Please be safe, you two, as I prayed with all of my heart. That actually scared me. Wasn't ready. Yeah, boo! I know, right? I should have a redemption. I've seen some who do redemptions that are like scares. It's like the whole screen. Anne's here too. Hi. This keeps going. I'll have to get more water. My gaze met Barreau's. Somehow, this created an opening, and the two men took full advantage.
Adolphe!
Oh!
Got it. My friend has a knocking redemption. Imagine if I had that without an announcement on my screen and I would just get confused. Right before I started my stream, my sister came home, my dog started barking, so I got up thinking that someone was at our door. I was like, I'm just kidding, and took my headphones up, and then I heard my sister be like, it's me! That's how I knew. Our dog gets scared sometimes. He's put everything he had into a heavy, well-timed bat blow. Honestly, if I had a dog barking redemption that sounded like far away, I'd be like, is it my dog? Is it mine? Adolphe used the opportunity Yves created and lunged forward with his sword, aiming for Barreau's abdomen. There was simply no way that the stance he took as he waved his halberd could repel it. Everyone present was certain that Adolphe's attack would land, and yet it didn't. But in that moment, Barreau let go of his weapon. What the? We heard a yell that sounded like it came from a beast, did it? I kind of hit the button, hang on. He could do better. He had stopped the sword with his palm, showing no regard for the stream of blood that flowed out of the wound. Hi, Leah. Hi, Jay. You can't see my hands. Hang on, I did it like this. Hello. Good evening. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't have my agenda with me. I was gonna show you. So my agenda, I have a spot in the back where I'm putting stickers, and I took all the stickers from the package you sent me last year and taped it to it, so they're in there. Ah man, later when I have my agenda in here. My agenda keeps being in my purse, so it's just fine. It's an agenda. I need to keep it with me. I go through it and write down what I'm doing that week. Adolphe. At the cost of his left hand, Barreau reached towards Adolphe's arm with his free hand to break it. To break Adolphe's arm? But before anything could happen, I took out my whistle from my pocket and blew into it hard as I could. She's like, gotta do it softly? I don't know. Some moments later, something flew down like a shooting star. Is she even human, bro? There's like an impact from where she lands. A white shadow landed right in between the two fighters.
間一髪間に合ったか?
I just barely made it in time, huh? The white figure stood up amidst the cloud of dust and brushed her clothes off. She's like, let me. Spinel!
来たか.
There she is. She gets like fancy music. Barreau put some distance between him and Adolphe after retrieving his halberd, going on the defense due to the unexpected guest.
悪い、助かった。
My bad, thanks.
あなたがアドルフたちの話してた助っ人の
You must be the helper Adolphe and the others mentioned.
ああ、 だが自己紹介は後にしよう。
Sure am. Let's save the introductions for later, shall we? I'm glad I was able to catch your stream. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, but I feel like I've been streaming really sporadically lately. Asia was in chat yesterday for like almost the entire time. I thought it was crazy. I need to continue to build my cabbage empire. That's so fair. What are you at? I'm at infinite because I can't actually earn any. Spinel fixed her gaze onto Barreau, her sword resting on her shoulder.
相対するのはこの間以来。いや、前のは偽物だったから。実質これが初めてか？
Oh my god, what are you gonna, do I need to add a redemption for you? My goodness, what do I even have? What's the highest I have? You could pick a hair color for me. That's why there's a ghost there that looks shocked, because that's crazy. I need to add some new redemptions. We should make some suggestions, guys. I'll make some new redeems. We haven't fought since the last time. Wait, that was just a clone though, so I guess that makes this our first time. Ooh. Actually, I got a notification on my phone today. One of my reels, what do you call them? I don't know what the right word is. Was that cool? Did I sound cool? One of my reels on YouTube hit 1,000 views. Randomly. It was like the first one I did. It's the horror game one, the Yomawari, where the dog dies. I was not prepared for that. It was all like, look! And I was like, oh, I don't want to remember that. After taking a look at Spinel, Barreau's grip on his halberd loosened for a brief moment. That was a surprising twist. Yeah, I was not prepared for that. I was not ready. We just started that game. I was not ready for that.
女だからと遠慮してるのか？なかなかお優しい殺人鬼じゃないか。
Oh, are you showing some restraint because I'm a lady? That's really kind for a bloodthirsty killer.
だが、あまり侮ると。
But if you let your guard down too much. As she finished speaking, she disappeared.
ぶっ殺すぞ!
I'll kill you. She immediately reappeared behind him. Barreau quickly dodged the attack that would have easily cut through his neck by ducking. Witnessing her agility up front made Spinel's eyes his agility up front made Spinel's eyes glisten dangerously. A sword against a halberd, the two crossed their weapons just respectfully mastered in the narrow alleyway. They channeled everything they had into each blow without missing a beat.
面白い! こんな化け物じみたやつがこの世界にまだいたとは!
This is fun! I didn't know killers like you still existed in this world. She's in danger. Despite her cold sweat, Spinel smiled as if she was truly enjoying the fight. I am more convinced that this is her route and not Ankou's. We see her more. And she's hot. Those are like the two things you have to be in an Otome game. Hot and seen a few times. Like if you told me there was a Spinel route, I would believe it. If you're like, oh, by the way, you could date her, I'd be like, I can see why. In her eyes was a profound joy upon meeting such a powerful opponent. Would it have been better if they had just made this a love interest? Imagine, they're like, and a new love interest, ooh. And it's just another person from the outside that's like, hey babe, what's up? Like the reason Otome doesn't usually have girl routes is because they're not as coveted. I am very happy to have them and I love having them around and I would appreciate it, but like, just give it to me. You don't have to go the route. So mad at Paradigm Paradox. I thought Paradigm Paradox was going to give me what I wanted, which was lesbians, and it took it away from me. In her eyes was a profound joy upon meeting such a powerful opponent. That's Spinel's true strength.
すごい。ブロー相手にたった一人で互角以上の戦いを。
She's amazing. She's able to fight on equal ground with Barreau all by herself. Maybe not in front of the scientists, but it must have been difficult to drag out a fight against Barreau's strength. Don't they have boy love games in Japan though? I feel like they do. I feel like specifically though that's the genre you're getting. Does that make sense? Like they don't usually mix the two, which is why they usually don't throw a girl love interest into an otome game. Just how strong are you? We heard a loud mechanical sound, and both fighters stepped back. Spinel wiped the sweat from her brow and laughed bitterly. There's definitely no way I can beat him myself. Give me a hand here, Dolph. Other young guy. Got it. Already on it. You guys already should have been on it. She should have never been doing one-on-one fighting this entire time. Buddy, you seem perplexed. Yves and Adolphe readied their blades once more and thrusted them towards Barreau. With 3 strong opponents attacking him, the powerful Barreau couldn't help but struggle as he let out a ragged breath. There was a chance we could win. Given the current situation, it wasn't surprising to feel some excitement at the possibility without letting our guard down, but we made a fatal mistake. We completely underestimated the strength of the emotions he had channeling into his fight. Who's gonna die? Brother? Why? Did I turn him down? He doesn't seem as loud as he should be. He let out a beast-like howl while dropping his halberd to an extremely low position. The only 2 who understood what that meant were Spinel and Sheen, who were observing the battle. Without a word or explanation, Sheen grabbed us and put even more distance between us and the battleground. In that moment, get down, you 2! Barreau took a breath and swung his halberd with all his might, instantly destroying the walls that surrounded them. Adolphe, Yves! I couldn't stop myself from calling out to them. What, is he insane? This isn't some kind of novel. No, it's a video game. You're so right. All 3 of them are safe. They emerged from the rubble, brushing it away as they did. We need to help the Mathis know. Know your limits, my guy. You use little baby daggers.
Mate.
Wait. Mathis was about to run over, but Sheen grabbed and pulled him back. Ignoring the 3 closest to him, Barreau, who remained untouched, slowly walked towards us. His cloak was covered in pieces of rubble. They fell off as he drew closer with steady footsteps. The face of the bloodthirsty killer that emerged from underneath the hood. Did he also throw the cape down? I belong to my dear teacher. Lucas! It can't be. Why are you?
なるほど。お前がブローだったか。その細身に化け物じみた怪力とは、さすがに予想外だった。
I see now. So you were Barreau all along. It's definitely unexpected to think that you had such strength despite your physique. Despite his words, Sheen stared intently at Lucas's face. Lucas returned his gaze with a clear, murderous intent.
シアンブロフィワーズ
Shorin Brofi?
悪魔の狩猟たるお前を天に捧げることができれば
If I could just offer you to the heavens as the leader of those wretched demons.
神はあの子を救ってくださると掲示された
God would save that child. He told me through a revelation.
悪魔、神。なるほど。その口ぶりからしてエクソシスト教団
I'm
か。
gonna sneeze. I think I'm good. Demons and gods, I see. Based on your language, I suspect the influences of the Society of Exorcists. I lied.
だが残念だったな。俺に近づくのが数秒遅かった。
I think I'm okay now. It's too bad you were a bit too slow in getting to me.
何
What?
あの女を戦力として加えたのは、お前に全力を出させるため。
I had that woman join our forces to have you exert your full strength.
極限まで追い詰めれば、なりふり構わず周囲を破壊するだろう。
If you were pushed to your limits, I predicted that you would destroy your surroundings.
そこらに咲いているリコリスのワージュごと。
Including the Lycoris VOD sprouting over there. But he's gonna kill us all. We're all gonna die. Wait. Oh, you know what? Adolf and the girl and Eve's actually are pretty resilient to the fumes, I guess. I guess this wasn't a bad idea. In that very moment, we all shifted our focus to the flowers that had been crushed by the debris. The curse that brought misfortune upon the people of Arpichel had been released into the air. Ah!
息が苦しい。
Oh no, we weren't far enough. Mathis, I can't breathe. Sheen, why did you do this? While it wasn't enough to do anything significant, it still made me and Mathis grab our throats from the pain. I could even sense that Sheen had some trouble breathing. If the three of us were struggling this much despite our distance from the flowers... That's dramatic. It must have been excruciatingly painful for Lucas, who had been standing right by them. He crumbled to the ground, and a large amount of blood trickled from his mouth. Lucas! Oh no, despite my concern, I couldn't even bring myself to move closer because I could die. Well, I wasn't. There was like a hair. I can feel it. Hang on. Can I get it? When I sneezed earlier, it's like a tiny hair got into my eye. Could be a bang. While it wasn't much, I also found blood dripping from myself down to the ground. We're all gonna die. Eves, too, was doubling over and crouching on the ground from the pain. Going to bed, have a good night. Good luck getting through to the end. I believe in you. Thank you, Ribbon. I hope you have a good sleep. The only ones who remained standing were Adolf and Spinel. Eves. So this is the curse of the flowers I've heard so much about. Adolf and Spinel, who didn't seem affected at all, they were just so clearly set apart from the rest of us, and this didn't go unnoticed. The devilish smile broke across Sheen's face.
女の正体を確認する予定が、まさかもう一人当たりがいるとはな。
I had already planned to look into the woman, but to think that there was one more who fit the criteria. Despite his breathing getting worse, Sheen attempted to draw closer to the two. I didn't fully understand the meaning behind his words, and yet I had a bad feeling after seeing his warped smile. Please wait. I acted purely on impulse and intercepted Sheen.
どけ。お前に用はない。
Move, this has nothing to do with you. I refuse. Right now isn't our objective to capture Lucas? If so, then why are you heading towards Dolphin Spinel? His expression twisted into one of annoyance.
Yose!
Yeah. They both attempted to hurry over to my side, but they wouldn't make it in time.
説明する必要はない。俺の救済の邪魔をするなら、誰であろうと排除する。
I don't need to explain myself to you. If you're going to get in my way, I'll just have to take care of you first. Oh my god, did I get the bad ending? Before I could react, Sheen's hand stretched towards me.
私の大事な女に
She's very dear to me.
罪にまみれた汚らわしい手で
So
触れるな。
don't you dare lay your sinful, sullied hands on her. Someone whispered behind him, and at the same time, pale hands covered his face. But he knows how kickboxing. Sheen instinctively must have kicked in having... Sheen's instinct must have kicked in having sensed danger. He turned around and delivered a bone-crushing kick. But the attack was meaningless. Ankou grinned eerily without showing any pain whatsoever. A sudden gurgling sound could be heard, and the broken bone quickly regenerated. What?
次から次へと貴重な検体が出てくるな。
Test subjects just keep on appearing one after the other.
無事か
Are you alright, Leah? Ankou! We're dying!
間に合ってよかった。遅くなってすまない。
I'm glad I made it in time. I'm sorry I'm late. Please don't be. I knew you would come. Somebody pick up Eves. Someone pick up Mathis, maybe? Someone pick up Lucas. Let's go. As he mumbled his thanks, he held me in his arms as if to shield me from Sheen. Spinel then leapt towards us, taking advantage of our opening of the opening Ankou apparently made. Sorry, Mr. Savior. Having deemed Sheen the more pressing threat, Spinel closed in on him in an instant and swung her blade. However, he had completely seen through her attack and jumped out of the way. As he did so, he delivered an upwards kick towards Spinel from the side as she approached us. Don't do this. She did not just fight Burrow and then almost gets her ass kicked by Sheen. He's not stronger than Burrow. No. And she's not being affected by the... Don't lie to me. She had dodged it by just a hair, but because of Spinel's quick thinking, she was unable to land her attack at the end because of Sheen's quick thinking. Having stabilized his breathing, Lucas stood up and fixated his gaze on us.
スピネル、あんたはアンクーとそいつを連れて安全な場所まで逃げろ。
Spinel, take Ankou and Leah and get them to a safe place. As he shouted his instructions, he tossed his transmitter towards me.
俺も同意見。シアンさんと先生は俺たちが引き受けます。
That's a good idea. The two of us will stall Sheen and Lucas. Hear me out. Run, all of you.
僕も先生には聞きたいことがたくさんありますから。
I'll stay. There's so much I need to ask Lucas. He doesn't have the answers. But
行こう姫君。シアン・ブロフィワーズが用意した伏兵がいないとも限らない。
let's go, dear princess. There's a chance Sheen Borofi has soldiers lying in wait. Right. While I was reluctant to leave, I understood that I would have been dead weight if I remained. Please be safe, everyone.
役立たずの君もいないよりはマシなはずだ。姫君を悲しませることがないよう、せいぜい生き延びるのだね。
I suppose your presence outweighs your uselessness. Make sure you survive so as not to sadden the princess.
余計な世話だ。
Mind your own business. Ooh, you know, sometimes he's got a good voice. Sometimes I like Adolph's voice. I just don't like the sibling theory here. After they spoke their cynical parting words, I firmly held onto Ankou's hand. White smoke filled our surroundings as a result of his regenerative abilities, and we took advantage of the obstructed view. We followed Spinel's lead and hurriedly made our escape. But did we make it?
今のは一体
What did I just see? I had been watching over Leah's group and their endeavors to undo the curse with the help of my adorable assistant Milo. When I arrived at the location he had given me, I witnessed something unbelievable. I saw a man unaffected by the curse of the Lycoris whose wound regenerated in the blink of an eye. Based on what I understood, Leah possessed a trait that induced elements similar to those of the curse. The curse progressed slowly in Adolf. And that mysterious man I just witnessed, Ankou, had an immortal body. Are you also finding this to be kind of crazy?
全てが揃えば呪いを解くことができるかもしれないと思っていたはず。
I thought that I'd be able to undo the curse as long as I could get them all together, but the scene from earlier sprung to
あの
mind.
子の名前を呼んだ時の必死な声。
The urgency in his voice when he called out Leah's name.
私の予想が間違っていなければ、あれは。
If my hunch is correct, then the revelation I had in that moment overwrote my fixation on working towards this country's salvation. If my instincts were
あの子た
correct,
ちを救済のための見栄になんて。
I absolutely cannot sacrifice them for the sake of salvation.
でも、だからといって諦めることなんてできないわ。
That said, I cannot give up because of this either. As a mother, what should I do? More dilemmas all around, right? You could tell it's your son because of how he said Leah. Nice. The existence of the three people who weren't affected by the curse served to amplify the malice that lay beneath the island.
一見どこにでもいる人間。突如クーネに現れた女性。そして不老不死の男。
A regular human one could find anywhere, the woman that suddenly appeared in Cohen and now a mortal man.
彼らが庇護する少女にも何か秘密がありそうだし。
The young... Did that shake my desk? Did that shake my desk? Did I not realize? The young lady they've been protecting seems to have some sort of secret as
こ
well.
うも一斉に貴重な検体が見つかるとは。本当に運がいいわね。
To think we'd find such valuable test subjects all at once. How very fortunate. In a dimly lit underground chamber, Capuchin let out a perplexed sigh at the person he spoke to via transmitter, who hid their identity with a voice changer.
その意見には同意するが、よりにもよってあの女が呪いを受け付けない存在だと。
I do agree with them, who would have thought that this woman wasn't affected by the curse.
今まで微塵も気づかなかった。支援者よりも先に気づいていれば出し抜くことができたものを。
I didn't have the slightest clue. If I had taken notice before them, I would have been able to get ahead. The supporter, a mysterious person who saved him from execution and now used him as he pleased. Capuchin was still unsure whether his supporter was a male or female. Their voice was too modulated to decipher. Their secretive demeanor made it impossible to determine their age or gender. Capuchin went along all the while thinking of how he could seize the advantage of one day.
彼らが一体何者なのか、おおよそ見当はついていますが、万が一のこともある。
Just who are these people? I do have some guesses, but I can't be certain.
身柄を捕らえ、しっかりと調べたいところなのだが、どうだろう。
I'd like to capture them and investigate them thoroughly. What do you think?
異論ない。アドルフ君を確保次第、残りも追うよう、リュカに指示しておく。
I have no objections. I'll tell Lucas to capture Adolf and go after the rest.
不老不死の男も有用に使いたいものだね。
I'd especially like to make full use of the immortal
う
man.
まくいけば、昏睡状態のナディアの回復にも使えるかもしれない。
If everything goes well, then our findings may help Nadia recover from her coma as well.
彼らの調査結果次第では、一気に計画を進められるかもしれない。
Depending on the results of their investigation, we may be able to carry out our plans
君
immediately.
は神湯君から速やかに記憶構築の研究データを丁寧に譲渡してもらってきてくれ。
I'd like for you to make haste in transferring Camille's findings on constructing false memories.
その後はデータで送っていたリコリスの花畑での墓暴きを死んでも支障のない信徒たちに任せたい。
Once you do so, send a few expendable followers to dig up the grave in the Lycoris field that I shared with you the other day.
わかった。その代わり、研究所を乗っ取った暁には。
Understood. And in exchange, when we take over the
も
institute,
ちろん君を所長として就任させよ
of course, I'll have you become the director.
う。あとは実力さえ示せればわざわざシアンもどきを作らずともこの国の技術を独占できる。
As long as you prove your worth, you could monopolize this country's technology without having to clone that man Sheen.
わかっているじゃないか。
I like that
あの
idea.
男の偽物になど頼らずとも、私が不老不死と新人類の作成を成し遂げてみせる。
I'll show everyone that I can create a new race of humans and achieve immortality without having to rely on fake. Indeed. Indubitably.
今度こそ、今度こそ。
This time for
シアン
sure.
ではなく私が世界から認められる時だ。
It won't be Sheen but I who will be recognized by the world. Yeah, it's fine. A child was born into this world. The first thing that infant sensed was the damp, sweet aroma of death. Is it me? Beyond the beautiful field of black and red flowers, out of sight of the bewildered people carrying the infant in their arms, a single man stood alone and out of sight. As the infant looked at him with innocent eyes.
とうとうこの瞬間が訪れたのか。
This moment has
この
finally
まま
come.
永遠にお前の声と姿を思い出せなくなるかと思ったが、
I thought I'd live for an eternity without being able to remember your voice or
必
appearance.
死に声を上げ生まれてきてくれてありがと
Thank you for being born and raising your voice with all of your might, Leah.
う。やっと会えたな。
At long last, we meet again.
俺もお前にずっと会いたかったんだ。
I've wanted to see you for a very long time. His voice was filled with countless emotions, like a traveler who's journeyed thousands of miles to finally find their lost love. Dot, dot, dot. My eyes were wet with tears as I opened them. I feel like I just had a nostalgic dream. I dried my tears and tried to recall the details, but couldn't seem to remember. I got out of bed to get something to drink. It was then that I remembered that this wasn't either the orphanage or Adolph's house. We're at Ankou's hideout. This is the first time we've been back in a while. Just like last time, he had taken me in as a guest at this isolated cave, not cage, it's not a cage. After the clash in the alley, we had somewhat managed to escape from Sheen and determined it would be dangerous to return to Adolph's. So we hurried over to the hideout instead. We shared its location with Adolph beforehand and decided to wait for him there. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's a smart guy. But as we waited, I was so overcome with fatigue that I ended up dozing off. If Adolph didn't arrive anytime soon, we would have to go and help him right away. Ankou and Spinel are sweeping, gone. Which one is it? Nowhere to be found. Could they perhaps be outside? Guarding the place, protecting your ass? Being extra aware of my surroundings, I slowly crept towards the cave entrance, and found Spinel sitting nearby.
お、目が覚めたのか。
Leah, I see you're awake. Spinel, what are you doing here?
見張りだ見張り。お前と一緒になって寝ていたら、いざという時に備えられないだろ。
I'm keeping watch. If I also fell asleep, we'd be wide open to attack, wouldn't we? That's true. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for sleeping and pushing this burden onto you.
気にするな。お前も慣れない修羅場ですっかり疲れていただろうしな。
Oh, don't worry about it. It all makes sense that you'd be tired considering you've never been on a battlefield like that.
戦場では1週間寝ないこともざら。一晩程度、大したことない。
It's completely normal not to be able to sleep for a week during a battle. One night's nothing. True to her word, there wasn't a hint of drowsiness in her face. If anything, she looked refreshed as she stood up. If you're here, then where's the doll?
花畑に行くと言ってたぞ。このまままっすぐ行けば、すぐに見つかるんじゃないか。
He said he would be in the field. I'm sure you'll be able to see him if you head straight there from here.
中の日は私が見ておこう。あいつと会うのも久々だろうし、ゆっくり話をしてきたらどうだ？
I'll keep an eye on the fire inside. You haven't seen him in a while, so why don't you go and have a nice long talk with him?
だがその前に。
But before that, Spinel's expression suddenly
すまん。
hardened.
使い捨ててもいいハンカチ持ってないか？
Do you have a handkerchief you don't mind parting with?
最後の蹴りが微妙に鼻にかすっていたようでな。さっきから鼻血が止まらん。
That kick earlier grazed my nose all weird. It hasn't stopped bleeding since. Just as she finished speaking, blood trickled down from her nose. Are you okay? I hurriedly hand her a clean handkerchief that I had in my case. Had on me in case anyone needed first aid. Would you keep that for first aid? She gave her things and took it and pressed it to her nose.
確実に避けたと思ったんだが、反則だろあの科学者。絶対また下2メートルはある。
I totally thought I dodged that. It's so unfair. I bet that scientist's inseam is like 2 meters long or something. I need that for reference. That's 6 feet. You're saying, wait. No, that's a yard. Hang on. A meter. How much is a meter? A yard is 3 feet. How much is a meter? What's the joke here? I really don't think his legs are that long. Oh my god, do I need to Google this? One meter in inches. 39 inches. So 2 meters would be 40 inches. Dear God, imagine. Spinel, you being there was such a great help. Although now it seems that you've been revealed as a drifter, we planned to protect you this time just as much as you protected us. Stretching, that's crazy. You're talking crazy. Oh goodness. All right. And hydrate. I have to get more water soon. Oof. At least it's newer stuff finally. I was getting it was bad yesterday. When I gave her my heartfelt thanks, Spinel took the handkerchief away from her nose and gave me a smile.
けなげなことを言ってくれるな。
Sometimes
こ
when
の
she
狭
laughs,
い国で
actually,
の冒険で、お前も随分と強くなった。
she sounds like a goddess from Radiant Tale. That woman, I can't think of her name. That's awfully heroic of you. You sure have grown strong from your
多
adventure
く
on the
の人
island.
間と出会い、多くのものを得たお前は、
You've met a lot of people and gained a lot of
い
things.
つか私という護衛を必要としなくなるだろう。
So I'm sure there'll come a time where you'll no longer need a bodyguard like
い
me.
つか互いに良き形で別れが告げられるといいな。
I hope that one day we can go our separate ways on good terms. Yes, with the dolphin Ankou there too. I believe that goodbyes were always sad, but our planned parting only served to fill me with expectations. One day on the shores of Arpachel, after the curse is lifted, I'll hit the wrong button. I hope that we can send you off as you return to the continents, talking about how grateful we are for our encounter. And in order to make that come true, I couldn't afford to stop moving forward. I set out for the Lycoris field in search of Ankou so we could discuss our plan moving forward. I trekked through the flowers of the misfortune as they gently swayed with the wind. Among them was a single shadow, but the shadow wasn't Eve's, who I had met in the field in the past. Oh, it's him eating them. This is a reuse. This is one of my favorite CGs, but it's a reuse. God, he looks so good in a t-shirt. His long white fingers plucked a Lycoris Noriji without any concern. He donned comfortable clothing, which he had probably brought with him from his true home to keep it in the cave. The shadowy man crushed the flowers in his hand. He then moved it towards his mouth, swallowing it whole. I watched in stunned silence as he consumed the Lycoris without succumbing to it. If he were human, he would certainly die at any moment. But this immortal being would not fall victim to the Grim Reaper's scythe. He went on to pluck another flower. He crushed it in his hand and brought it to his lips. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was an incomprehensible sight, akin to watching someone swallow broken glass. But despite my fear, I was completely entranced. I didn't know how much time had passed while I watched him with fascination.
いかがかな、姫君。我が盟友が守り続けた花は、夜に眺めても美しいだろう。
What do you think, dear princess? Don't the flowers my sworn friend has protected for years look beautiful at night as well? I finally came to my senses and hurried over to Ankou. Ankou, are you alright eating those Lycorises?
まあ、君たち人間からしたら、さぞおぞましい光景だっただろうね。
The sight must be terrifying one to you humans. That's not what I mean. I'm just worried about
不
you.
死だと分かっているのに。
But you know I am immortal. You told me before that you still feel pain. Hearing my somewhat scolding tone, Ankou lowered his head in apology.
姫君の心配、痛み入る。だが、本当に問題はないんだ。
I appreciate your concern, dear princess, but I have come to no harm whatsoever.
何を隠そう。このリコリスこそが、私の地上における主食でね。どうにもハムのをやめられない。
To be honest, the Lycorises are my primary source of sustenance. While on the surface, I cannot do without them. Sustenance? Ankou went on to tell me that they bloomed in Hades too, and that consuming them gave him powers, since the flowers represented death. I don't want to skip this because I love Ankou, but like, we've done this before. I was no longer surprised by anything Ankou did. Did you perhaps ask them to breed the flowers for you to eat? Or are you really going to use these to propose to the Lady of Death? Or...
姫君、どうかしたのかい?
Dear princess, is something the matter? Ankou gave me a puzzled look upon seeing me suddenly hang my head. For some reason, picturing the situation made me feel something I couldn't put my finger on. If that really was true, Ankou's smile, which I've always thought was so kind and wonderful, may one day belong to a woman who who was much more lovely than I. Oh my god.
姫君、急にうつむいて、本当にどうしたのかな?
Princess, you cast your eyes downward so suddenly. Did something happen? She hurt her own feelings. I felt something softly poke my cheek. It was Ankou's finger, as if to return the poking I did when I was sulking from Ankou's outlook on life. The warmth of the person I had fallen in love with at some point wasn't enough to lift the gloom from my heart. The woman you've fallen for must be a wonderful person. Now that I think about it, you got along very well with Spinel. The Lady of Death must be someone of immense power. Could it be that your ideal woman is someone who's strong? If so, I was the complete opposite of that. What? Ankou seemed shocked by my question.
何がどうしてそんな話になるのかな?
Just how did the topic of discussion turn into this? He's told me a story. I won't get in the way. Please, go be with this woman you want to be with so badly. It's fine. Nah, according to the story Eve's told me, you're prepared these flowers for your beloved. Upon hearing my response, Ankou furrowed his brow before reluctantly continuing. We're gonna go back. Because I'm a cheater. If I don't get the color on the screen that I want, I'm gonna go the other way. I thought that was too forward. If reuniting with her truly is your heart's desire, then wouldn't I just get in the way of your love? I doubted anyone out there liked having a different person by their lover's side. Upon hearing my response, Ankou furrowed his brow before reluctantly continuing.
死神の話と同様、その話も時の流れとともに変化してしまったとは考えないのかな?
Similar to the story of death, have you considered perhaps that this story has changed over time?
それと、スピネルに対し、私が情のようなものを抱くことは万が一にもありえない。
Not only that, but there is not even the slightest chance that I have any feelings towards Spinel.
彼女のことは一種の、そうだな、嵐にも似た災害だと思っている。
I consider her more like a disaster akin to a storm. I don't think Spinel would be very happy to hear that. But I'm somewhat relieved. If there was no one else that Ankou had romantic feelings for, he'll be able to stay by my side as my personal watchman of death. As I felt a wave of relief, it seemed that it was now Ankou's turn to sulk.
姫君以上に私が優先するものがあると思っていたのかい?
Did you think that there was someone I would prioritize over you?
だとしたら、心外だ。
That is rather upsetting.
好みと心は最初からすべて君を生かすことに捧げているというのに。
Especially since I've dedicated everything I have to keep you alive all of this time. I'm sorry, I believe you with all of my heart, of course. It's just, you say that it's because I'm your partner. But the kindness you've shown me is much more than that. As I shared my thoughts, Ankou seemed surprised. It appeared that he wasn't aware of his temperament treatment towards me at all. Your kindness towards me doesn't feel like we're just partners. I think that you have other reasons aside from wanting me to live. Or am I mistaken? He's so pretty.
Yeah.
No. Recycled! We've seen this already.
君の言うことは何一つとして間違っていないとも。
What you say is absolutely correct.
私はずっとそれこそ気が遠くなるほどはるか昔から
I've been alive for so long that it feels like an eternity.
この一面のリコリスの花園とともに君が誕生するその時を待ち続けていたんだ。
I've waited for that eternity for you to be born in this field of lycorises. This field, which meant when I was born.
遠くから見守っていたよ。
Yes, I was watching from afar.
生まれたばかりの君はずっと泣いていて、いつ保護されるのかと心配で仕方なかった。
When you were first born, I heard you crying. I felt anxious about those who took you away in their arms. He wanted so badly to see me then. His voice was filled with countless emotions. Somehow, I felt as though I had heard it somewhere
本
before.
当はもっと君と早く出会いたかった。
To be honest, I wanted to meet you so much sooner.
背負う業に苦しむ君へと手を差し伸べたかった。
I wanted to extend my hand to you to save you from your suffering.
だが制約のあるこの身ではあの日あの晩までろくに動くことができなかったから。
I was unable to move until that night when the restrictions were finally lifted.
今まで君に何もしてやれなかったんだ。助けられなくてすまない。
See, part of this I'm like, is this repeating? Because I mentioned Spinel and that jealousy thing that I don't remember before. For all those years, I was unable to do anything for you. I am truly sorry that I could not help. I wanted to tell him not to apologize, but Ankou stopped me with a shaking voice.
君を待ち続ける無限の時間に一時は絶望したものだが。
In the endless hours of waiting for you, I lived in despair.
君の言葉を聞いたら今までの苦労などすべて無産してしまったよ。
But when you first spoke to me, all the pain in my heart vanished in an instant. He leaned his cheek against me.
私の大事な姫君。
My dear
私
Leah,
ともう一度巡り合ってくれて。
thank you for meeting me
生
again.
まれてきてくれて。
Thank you for being born in this
生きる
world.
ことを諦めないでいてくれて。
Thank you for not giving up on life.
本
This is
当に。
thank you very much. His honest voice shook with tears. No one has ever said that to me besides family. Tears began to roll down my cheek. I should be thanking you, Ankou. I felt so grateful that you were the one who came to me. Ankou dried my tears, seemingly embarrassed for being overcome with emotion. Suddenly, something fell to the ground from his robe. Oh, it's Adolph's dagger. Ankou, why do you have that? You've been carrying it all this time since you picked it up that night, Ankou?
ああ。だが今の今まですっかり忘れていたよ。
Yeah, I completely forgot about it until now. I can return it to Adolph for...
いや、これは後で私から彼に返しておこう。
No, I'll return it to him later. Why?
実はこの探検を拾った後、時間を持て余していたのもあって。
I accidentally chipped it.
なので彼に
I'll
は
return it to him when I fix it. LOL. Be sure you fix it soon,
もち
okay?
ろんだとも。
Of course, of course, of course, of course. I'll return it. No probs. Dawn broke. Dolph's taking a while.
そうだね。魂が運ばれた痕跡はないから生きてはいるだろうが。
There's no trace of his soul being carried to Hades. He should still be alive. I felt incredibly anxious about Adolph's absence now that the sun had came out.
私が様子を見に行ってもいいが、すでに救世主様に手配されているだろうしな。
I could go take a look, but I bet he's already been captured by the likes of Mr. Savior. I think you're right. Apparently, apart from Lucas, who we were trying to capture to begin with, I wonder why Sheen would try to capture you and Adolph as well.
それは。
Well,
あ？そんなの。
it's pretty obvious.
リコリスの災いが効かなかった人間だからに決まっているだろ。
It's because we're not affected by the effects of the Lycoris. Huh? Looking back, she was right. Including myself, everyone had been brought to their knees because of the Lycoris that night. Even Sheen, calm as he was no exception and seemed to struggle a bit. My train of thought led me to something else. Spinel, Ankou, and Adolph, you all seemed fine. Ankou was about to say something in response to my observation, but a noise rang out from my chest, and I hurriedly took out Adolph's transmitter.
アドルフか。お前今どこにいる？
Adolph, where the hell are you? Hugo, did something happen? It sounds urgent.
アドルフ。じゃなくて、ジョーちゃんか。とりあえず、あんただけでも無事が確認できてよかっ
Adolph! No, it's you, Leah. Regardless, I'm glad to hear you're safe. Are you? Are you, Hugo? Are you really glad to hear I'm safe? He probably understood that I had been entrusted with the transmitter. Without asking any questions, he took a deep breath before continuing.
えらいことになった。たった一晩で
Things are
アル
pretty
ペシエー
bad.
ル全土で
In just one night, all of Arpachel.
今にも内乱、殺し合いが起きそうになってる。
Is on the verge of civil war. People are out for
状
blood.
況次第じゃ本気でこの国滅びるぞ。
There seems to be a pretty high chance this country's gonna collapse, yo. Civil war? The Watchman of Death listened, his eyes giving off an eerie glow. Perhaps it was because he sensed that more souls would soon enter Hades, or perhaps, just maybe.
おい、やめろ。
Stop.
俺のロザリーに近づくな。
Stay away from my Rosalie.
うるさい男だ。
Can't
研究設備を
support her, blah blah blah, for
彼
the
女に手を
equipment.
出されたくなければ
Do as I say.
んなこと許すわけないだろうが。ようやくロザリーの記憶を再現する段階に、だいたい今までは結果の共有だけで済ませてたじゃないか。
理由は記憶の研究は
I
完
remember
成に
research is near its completion.
蹴るな。お前ら最初から俺。
さあ、私の忠実なる彼の恋人をそのカプセルごと腐るのを待つだけの死体。はっ
We've done this before.
やめろ。
これ以上騒ぐようなら君のそれが嫌なら私に従え。生きた人間に向ける美しい螺旋。培った私
Oh God. I don't care about Jean. I don't care about Capuchin. In fact, I don't care about Capuchin. Oh gosh. Okay, I think we're gonna stop here. It's chapter 6. It's official. We'll start with chapter 6 tomorrow night, maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna play tomorrow or Thursday. It's gonna be tomorrow or Thursday. We did it, guys. We're on chapter 6 now. We're getting close to the end of this. I don't even know how many hours we spent. Today we've spent 3, almost 4. Almost 4! And we got through 2 chapters. I'm proud of us for surviving. Oh my gosh. Alright. We're gonna do that. Put the chat note on there. Go back. We did have 1 new... Well, actually, technically 2. 2 if you want to count. If you want to count the Spinel picture, which again, I would be down. If they want to make her a dateable character, go for it. I'm totes. I'm good with that. Bring her to me. Give me this woman. But like, is she necessary? Was she necessary? Is this, I don't know. But look at this. Wait, what am I missing here? What's this? What's this? Oh wait, it's probably, hang on, there's these. Yeah, yeah. Hang on. There's, uh-huh. 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 Oh God. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's probably the other ending picture. Okay, we're fine. We got 1. Took forever, but we got it. And it's gorgeous. He looks great. I'm really happy. He makes me happy. Let's see if there's anybody to raid before I say goodnight. Anybody on? Nilo's on. Yeah. Is he playing Repo? Everyone's playing Repo. I should play Repo. I think I bought it. We started to play it as a group and then we never did. Thank you Bess, thank you Ribbon, thank you Blue, thank you Jay, thank you Anne. I think that's everyone who came in and said hi. Thank you guys for being in chat with me today. I appreciate you spending your time with me. If you're watching this on YouTube, I stream about 3 times a week on Twitch, and you can check me out live over there if you want to see what we're up to. And as a reminder, if you're here and you're watching this, you can check out YouTube if you want to watch the VODs or check out the reels that I've been making. I haven't made a new one recently. I need to get back on that soon. But I'll be back later this week. I'll post on Discord when I'm going to go live, just so you guys know, because my goal is to finish this game this week so that we can start PO40 on Sunday. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a lovely night. Bye.